Let me help you with your vision, they losing their sight here. Time to send the world a message they might hear. Like Meek Mills, I'm making it quite clear. I'm chasing my dreams and fighting my nightmares. I'm going real hard, I'm talking words you understand, I'm talking real bars. I'm going everywhere, you know I'm talking real far. Yeah, it's time to raise a toast to this thing to the uttermost. As I go from coast to coast, I'm talking north side, I'm talking south side, I'm talking east side, I'm talking west side. I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, it's time to let you know how I spit it when I flow. When I go and light a fuse and I set to let it blow. I'm talking worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, time to check my status and the GOAT is what it be. And you know I'm over 30, so my level is a G. And I may be from the hood, but I'm way beyond these streets. And my pockets hate a diet, so they always down to eat. Even though they screaming fame, and it's always spelling me. And I'll never hang it up till my mission is complete. And I'm looking at you haters, I suggest you take a seat. Cause it's all fun and games to a killer show his teeth. This is for them cats that be screaming homies. Claiming that you're real, but we know you're phony. Now I'm chillin' with my sons, they my one and only. Like the Triller Brothers, yeah, we screamin' lions only. Step into this den, I welcome all who will dare. Never met a David, tell me whom shall I fear? Gotta rep the nation, black and gold is what I wear. If you look to your left, to your right, I'm everywhere. I'm talking worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, yeah.
And welcome to York Surburban High School for the final of 5 total York Rose Bowl games here at York Surburban High School. It's a 6A matchup between the PIAA 6A runner-up Harrisburg High School against the York Bearcats, who once again bring a solid team to the table in the York Adams League. I'm Luke Brown along with Dew Jones, Todd Miller, as well as Leon Rockymore in the studio, producing, and the entire Roxamore crew for the final of 5 games here at the York Rose Bowl. And boy, do we have a 6A matchup on our hands.
Looking forward to it. The last time these two teams met in 2015, so it's been a few years, and the rivalry of sorts has been rekindled, and looking forward to this matchup with York High. Lost some players, as you know, featuring Jaheim White last year on to West Virginia, and interesting to see how they bounce back. You lose a player of that magnitude, it should be interesting to see. They'll have a sophomore running back stepping in.
Yeah, and we watched all 3 games today, starting at 2:30 with an Imhotep Charter huge win over Life Christian Academy earlier today. And I mean, the stands were filled, but it's not like it is right now. The 3 of us were just down on the field, Todd Miller, Dew Jones, and I, both of them from the Shooting Stars based out of York, and we were down on that field and saying, wow, I mean, this is a crowd and a half right here.
It's electric. The atmosphere is phenomenal. I heard parking spots were at a premium, talking to some of the security down there, so they have filed in, and we're glad you filed in to watch the Roxamore Sports Network.
Yeah, Roxamore Sports Network, along with Sports Shooting Stars, getting ready for action here between York and Harrisburg High. But before we get into game action, let's talk about something nationally sports recognized, and that's a documentary that just came out about Bishop Sycamore High School, a team that essentially scammed their way onto ESPN, playing IMG Academy, one of the most famed high school athletic programs in the country, and actually played at Woodland Hills High School. That documentary, named BS High, now on HBO platforms. Make sure that you watch that documentary because it's certainly interesting. It'll blow your mind.
I definitely want to watch that, make it a point. Must-see television with that documentary.
Yeah, we were talking about it in between the break. I mentioned, tomorrow with a Sunday off day, I'm probably tuned into that myself because of the preview. I mean, they brought on the head coach of this Bishop Sycamore High School team to talk about what the team was like, what the experience was like. They brought on some players and things like that. I can't wait to tune in. And we have kickoff in the final of 5 from on Roxamore Sports Network in collaboration with Sports Shooting Stars. It's the York Bearcats and the Harrisburg Cougars.
And the Cougars is set to receive start offensively. They'll be in their white jerseys with black numbers, York High, and their blue jerseys with white numbers. And what a nightcap matchup.
And this is definitely the main event for us. I know the Cougars versus the Bearcats. This is a matchup that we always look forward to. It's been a couple years since they've seen each other. I believe the last time they met each other was back in 2015 with Harrisburg coming out with the victory. But it's a whole new year. It's 2023. Yes. York High is reloading, have a lot of good talent back there.
Well, George Banks Jr. will be the starting quarterback for York High, and Amani Bones, running back. Keep an eye out, 2 players for York High, along with their Maryland commit, Mike McMonigal, an offensive lineman.
Sean Lee Jr. under center. He's going to take the snap.
He's going
Harrisburg
deep.
Firing deep to start off. A big play. Ooh. And did he haul that in?
I believe that's out of bounds.
No, he did not. That is Elias Koch for this Harrisburg team. Elias Koch, a guy to keep your eye on at wide receiver.
Absolutely. Elias Koch is a guy you want to keep your eye on. A sophomore, had a great freshman season, and now he has a sophomore season that he's trying to build on. Keep an eye on him. He's already had some D1 offers already. I mean, Harrisburg does a great job of getting their kids to the next level and furthering their education.
I believe Penn State's one of the schools looking at Elias Koch.
Sean Lee, only a sophomore, the quarterback back there, has a big-time arm and can do a lot of things with his legs. There's a handoff.
One of Penn's best returning quarterbacks, and here is a great play by the Harrisburg running back, Nehemiah Ewell.
And that was a good tackle by Imani Bones, also playing running back for the Bearcats. Imani Bones, only a sophomore, had a lot of touches last year. He's going to be the featured back for York High for the next couple of years.
And look at number 74 on the left side of your screen. That is a name to keep your eye on
Kevin
as well.
Brown Jr.
Kevin Brown Jr., the junior, 6'5", 250. His dad played with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's got a couple of Division I offers himself.
Penn State being one of them as well. Started as a freshman last year.
As here's a handoff. And we talked about Elias Koch's Penn State offer as well, and as well as Messiah Mickens from Trinity High School in the Mid-Penn, who committed to Penn State last week. One of my questions in an interview with Messiah Mickens was, so who from the Mid-Penn are you going to try to bring along with you to be a Nittany Lion? And Koch was one of those names from Harrisburg High School that he's trying to go play for Coach Franklin as well as Messiah. Here is Lee, near side and dropped.
And that ball may still be live. Great job of York High not giving up and just still going after the ball.
11:03 here in the first quarter of play between York and Harrisburg in a big-time matchup. Todd and Dew, you mentioned earlier today, you'd have to go back about 8 years to find the last time that these two city schools played against each other.
And prior to that, you probably have to go back another 20 years to figure that one out as far as on the football level.
Yeah, and a lot of history between these two schools. I mean, Harrisburg, who also at one point had a William Penn campus, as York does now. Now it's just the John Harris campus up in Harrisburg.
Sean Lee with the ball.
Here's Lee firing far side. Passes, and it's complete just up to the 40-yard line. A nice play at receiver for the Cougars. That one made by Quincy Brannon.
That may be enough for a first down.
Just keep your eye on 74, middle of your screen. I mean, it's tough to really pay a lot of attention to the line, but Kevin Brown makes it really easy with the plays he's able to make, especially on offense, as he is right now. As that one slips through the hands, it's intercepted by York, and they make a statement play on the opening drive. Amari Davis,
a transfer from West York. One of our guys to keep an eye on. Great job.
The junior, 5'11", 165 defensive back with an absolute statement in the opening drive for York.
Great way to set the tone for Amari Davis.
Exactly.
Giving his guys a great opportunity with the ball at the 45-yard line to punch it in.
And now we'll see York High's offense tonight for the first time.
$10:28 left in the first quarter of play, just a minute and a half in, and the ball goes right back to the Bearcats.
And if I'm pretty sure the Bearcats are going to run the ball with Amani Bones. He's going to get the ball first off. They have a first-year quarterback in George Banks Jr.
Who's a senior.
He's a senior this year, has the poise, number 15, has the opportunity to, control the team and be the leader. But I think they're going to play some conservative ball and try to see how many yards they can get pushing in, just handing the ball off and just going down the field.
Well, a timeout called by York High with 10:28 to go.
I'd like to give Todd. I'd like to give the fans some feedback about York High last season. They won 6-4 and 5-2 in their conference. Their only out-of-conference losses were to Woodland Hills, 28-24, and then Henfield, 35-32. Very close contests. And their only loss came by in the division came by Central York twice, which is another close contest, 41-36, and then the district loss, 51-44. Both of those games were thrillers. We filmed both of those games as well. York High lost, the quarterback Sam Stoner, James McBride, Montrez Jackson, Quentin Price, Amari Newsom, and most notably Jaheim White. He's at West Virginia right now.
And we'll get a chance to see him next Saturday at Beaver Stadium as West Virginia travels to Penn State.
And quickly, players to watch is wide receiver David Ward, number 1. Had an awesome breakout season last year. Expect him to get a lot of touches this year.
And has an offer for the University of Charlotte in
And
motion.
there he's in motion.
Ward.
He has the ball right now. David Ward.
That one goes to the far side for York on the run play. 10:16 left in the first quarter of play. It's York and Harrisburg, the final of 5 games at the inaugural York Rose Bowl. York, another participant of the Chambersburg Peach Bowl in Week 1 last year. And, that game was close. You mentioned their losses last year and how they were close. Well, now that I think about it, that Woodland Hills game, in Week 1, close. It came down to a goal line stop. They tried to rush up the middle with Jaheim White, that running back now at West Virginia, and Woodland Hills was able to stop him maybe inches from the goal line. And
George
they went
Bank with the
home
ball.
1-0.
He's looking deep.
Here's a deep ball. York, 50-50 ball and picked off. Our second interception of the day.
Wow.
Quincy Brannon. Big time play from Quincy Brannon.
5'11".
And you can see right there, George Banks has the arm, but he has to be a little bit more accurate. That was a deep ball, about 45 yards down the field, and it was picked off.
And now each team with an interception.
It's been a defensive game so far in this first quarter.
Yeah. And, we saw this Harrisburg team last year at Central. They knocked them out of the district playoffs. Remember the running back Kyle Williams from Harrisburg, who's now at Temple.
Yeah.
Kyle Williams and I believe Hopkins, Mackay Hopkins.
Yeah, Mackay Hopkins.
He was a bruiser.
Oh, he was a bruiser.
Back.
Big-time running
Almost
back.
like a linebacker playing in the running back
Yeah,
position for
he
Harrisburg.
was one of the largest running backs that you'll see on a football field. And it was almost like a Marshawn Lynch comparison.
Beast
where he was
mode.
just able to,
Yes.
to power through.
Power
he was-
running back.
He was shifty, and he can make moves, had speed, had the whole 9. I think he had an injury towards the end of the season, but he's in college now. Big shout-out to Hopkins and Kyle Williams. They did a great job with Harrisburg last year. District champions as well, Harrisburg Cougars.
And also losing Amir Jones out of the defense.
And Terrell, their defense
Terrell
guy.
Reynolds.
Terrell
as well.
Reynolds, he was a beast
As-
defensive end.
As here is the exact number that Kyle Williams used to wear. Number 4 now belongs to Salim Penn, the freshman 5'8" running back.
Want to give a lot of credit to James Abney, number 9 for York High, with that big-time tackle in the backfield.
A scoreless contest between Harrisburg and York High. Thank you for tuning in tonight.
9 minutes to go here in the first. And here's the fake handoff. Lee's going to run it himself. Gets past
First
the
down and
30,
more.
cruising past the 40-yard line and just about to the 50.
And that was a sweet rollout for Sean Lee. We spoke about that, how he can do a lot of things with his arm and his legs, and right there, that was on display.
And you saw the speed in full effect there for Harrisburg. Now ball up near midfield. scoreless contest.
Sean Lee Jr. puts on the Jets. Ball marked at the 49-yard line. Takes the snap, screen pass to the near side. It's caught, and up to the 45, still at his feet, in between the 45 and 40-yard line for, once again, freshman Salim Penn. .8:24 left in the first quarter of play. Sean Lee Jr. far sideline, and
Complete.
it's caught past the 35
Big
and
time hit.
to about the 31-yard line.
It was Jalen Lewis with the reception.
And right now, Harrisburg's picking up a lot of chunk yardage. York High did a great job of having an interception on their first series, but they got to slow down these chunk yardage by Harrisburg Cougars.
Hurry-up style offense here for Harrisburg.
And we have seen that quite often in this Rose Bowl showcase. Hurry-up offense and just getting the defense really tired. Great tackle.
A great defensive play in the backfield for York.
Salim Penn, the running back, a freshman for Harrisburg.
Getting a lot of touches.
Want to give a big shout-out to Jameer Green, number 8 with that tackle.
And Jameer Green, the senior linebacker for York. Here's Sean Lee Jr. once again in the shotgun, has 3 on his right side. Hands it off again, and another great run by Salim Penn. Who would have expected a freshman getting this many touches in a 6A showdown like this one?
Big spot delivering early here in the game between Harrisburg and York High.
Well, Coach Everett has a lot of confidence in his freshman. He's giving him an opportunity to show what he has on the field.
You're watching the Roxamore Sports Network in conjunction with Sports Shooting Stars.
Lee
delivers.
An interesting delivery, and he connects to the 15-yard line, moves the ball 12 yards up the field.
And that was Kymere Williams with the catch.
And you see number 4, the CB, Kai Beatty. He's another transfer from York Surburban. Was at this school last year. Now he's over at York High.
Once again, 3 to his right. Sidecar to the right as well. He hands it off through the middle and into the end zone. Touchdown, Zymir Hill, the junior running back, speeds himself into the end zone. Touchdown, Harrisburg, 6-0 Cougars.
A 15-yard touchdown run.
The D1 coach needs to email him right now. Seriously, that was an amazing run. Holy crap.
Right up the middle.
Zymir Hill gets 1 touch in this ball game and takes it to the house for 6.
You see the way he hit that pocket? Oh my goodness.
And the extra point coming for Harrisburg. The holder, Quincy Brannon. The kicker, Barry Daniels, the senior running back. And now early movement for York.
Yeah,
and that's going to switch it up for Harrisburg. But honestly, I mean, I would rather probably kick from the 10 than the 1, honest, because you have more of an angle. So we'll see really whether this helps or hurts Harrisburg. Yeah, so it looks like they're actually going to decline that penalty. They don't need to move the kick up. Or rather, they're just going to move the snap up.
The ball will be marked on 10-yard line.
And here is the kick, and
it
was blocked. So it's blocked after the penalty. That keeps this one at a 6-0 ball game after 2 drives. 2 interceptions and a score. It's 6-0 Harrisburg on the Roxamore Sports Network in collaboration with Sports Shooting Stars.
Great defensive play from York High Bearcats, getting their hand on the ball and blocking that extra point. Like I said, this is a game of inches and numbers, so you want to decrease their numbers by any way possible. Great job from York High.
And we know what Harrisburg's capable of. And of course, they were in the state finals last year, losing to St. Joseph Prep. have a feeling Harrisburg wants to get back on that stage again, Luke. And it starts tonight with a win potentially over York High.
Right. So it's 6-0, 6:42 in the first quarter of play. Kickoff marked on the 40-yard line. York with a chance to respond. How do they do it?
Well, they got the ground and pound. Get the ball to Monty Bones. Let him get some yards, 3 yards and a little bit of dust, as Todd like to say. Just ground the ball a little bit, keep the ball in their hands, and, do some screens and things like that. That deep ball from George Banks Jr., I mean, that was a nice throw, but I don't know if that's really in their bag to start the game off with. I like to see York High run the ball. They're known for having running backs, and they do have a good back there by the name of Armani Bones.
Just a sophomore.
Just a sophomore. He has big shoes to fill, as we all know about Jaheim White.
The kick, and it looks like they're going to re-kick it here. Harrisburg in that Mid-Penn Commonwealth Division.
And, Lukey, you think about the District 3 level, the rankings for teams, your thoughts on 6A particularly, since this is a 6A matchup, and we've heard a lot about Manheim Township as well.
Yeah, 6A is really interesting this season with Harrisburg and at a District 6 State College to go up north to State College, as Harrisburg will face off against the State College once this year in part of the Mid-Penn Commonwealth. But going to District 3, I mean, Manheim Township has a really good year with Hayden Johnson at quarterback ahead of them, beating Cumberland Valley last night. I still see Harrisburg as the best team in 6A District 3, but Manheim Township isn't that far from a second-place team.
We'll get the opportunity to see Manheim Township next week as they travel down here to Dallastown.
That's a big game.
Yeah, Dallastown losing by 2 points against Hempfield. And they had Hempfield on the rocks yesterday. They were up at 1.14-3, but ended up losing 16-14. You may know one of the players from Hempfield, David Polly, a defensive tackle, commit to USC.
Really?
Yes, and his final 3 choices, Penn State, Michigan, and USC, and he'll be attending Southern California next year.
Yeah, USC has a great ball team, especially with Heisman quarterback at the helm of that program.
And that's what York High fans want to see, York High running the ball. They want to see the ground and pound game to start the game off with, and I think that's a good call with Armani Bones already carrying the ball for, it looks like 2 yards.
Yeah, York High has a rich history of running backs through the years. I mean, just most recently, Jaheim White, Dejor Stewart as well.
Khalil Dorsey. I mean, the list just goes on and on. York High always has a storied book of running backs back there, and Bones is the next guy up.
And a whistle blows. It looks like it may be a timeout.
You also want to get David Ward involved as much as possible on the offensive side. He had a breakout season last year. He was on our top 10 list, or actually number 2 on our breakout season players last year. So be interested to see David Ward get some touches. 3-sport athlete, football, basketball, and track.
And Dragon by the jersey, but gets about up to the 45-yard line. That's Amani Bones.
We mentioned his name earlier.
Yeah, another guy to keep your eye on for this Bearcat squad, number 55, Michael McGonnell.
Well, we saw him down pregame. How about it, Luke?
He's a big boy.
We talk about Kevin Brown from Harrisburg. Well, Mike McMonigal, another player, a Maryland commit.
Here's the
nice
throw,
pass.
and it's
and a flag throw.
Just out of reach for Wanique Scott.
And the men in stripes. Hey. Talking this play over, this infraction.
It's going to be 3rd and 3 from the 40, pending the flag. Seen some teams from out of state. Just one, I believe, in this year's edition. It's going to bring up 4th down and 3. A team from Virginia But lots of football teams all over, like Ohio, where some teams have come in and played in this sort of event, like Bishop Sycamore. You can check out Bishop Sycamore's new documentary on HBO, BS High, an amazing story, which features Roxamore Sports production of a Bishop Sycamore high school football game
And that
when they
pass was
played at Woodland Hills.
pass complete to David Ward.
And that's always a great feeling to see David Ward get involved in the offense. And that's George Banks' first completed pass as
Yes.
a varsity starter. So, he shook off the rust a little bit with that and got that monkey off his back, and I think he's ready to go.
4:55 left in the first quarter.
And a new set of downs for York High. Ball in territory of Harrisburg on the 49-yard line.
Here's the snap. It's a handoff and muffed.
Looks like there was a fumble
And
there. We'll see.
Does Harrisburg have it? No, they do not.
York High did a great job getting back on the ball.
Yeah,
you don't
good
want to have too many.
awareness.
You don't want to have too many turnovers in a game like this. This is our featured game. This is the showcase game of the whole Rose Bowl. So there's a lot of fans. There's a lot of eyes watching this game.
4:17 left to go here in the first quarter. It's 2nd and 12 from the 49-yard line. It looks like there's kind of been a pause between every play. Have you guys noticed?
I have noticed that, yes. It's hasn't exactly been a hurry-up style offense.
York takes the snap, handoff, far side, and taken down there. Winnick Scott.
Not much going there on that running play for a loss. Bring up a 3rd down. We'll see what York High's offense has dialed up here.
Three minutes, 30 seconds now.
Harrisburg with a 6-0 lead over York High here in the first quarter.
And here's the
Under
throw.
pressure.
And dropped. .307 now on the clock, winding down in the first quarter.
And I believe it'll be a 4th down now for York High.
Fourth and 13, and a tough drive for York, to say the least.
Yeah, and it looks like the offense, well, no, Banks is dropping back now.
Yeah, it's going to be an Alex Irby-style punt for York. And there it goes.
Hey, that's a really good punt.
Yeah,
It
it
is.
is. It's going to get some back.
Down
And
inside the
marked
15.
on the 14-yard line is where Harrisburg will start their offensive drive. It's 6-0 Harrisburg over York with 2:58 in the first quarter on Roxamore Sports Network and Sports Shooting Stars. The final of 5 here on those networks.
Yeah, I want to give another big shout out to AD Ron Kersey. He's the one that organized this Rose Bowl event. It's been a great showcase, showing it was 2 games yesterday, 3 games today. It's been a lot of fun. Me and Ty have clocked in a lot of hours so far in the last 2 days.
Fun-filled football weekend for us.
Absolutely.
Sean Lee Jr. back. And
It's a
he's going to
direct
run it
snap.
himself.
Right up the
Sean
middle.
Lee Jr.
30.
up the middle.
He has
to
legs.
the 40, the 50, one man to beat.
Oh, and he gets slowed
And
up.
to the 35-yard line. What a play. Sean Lee Jr.
And that was a design play for the quarterback. He got the ball, went straight up the gut. He had a lead blocker, and he just made something out of nothing. Great job from Sean Lee. Like I said, he's good as advertised.
Yeah.
You know what he brings to the table.
Tremendous speed from the quarterback.
Yeah, and he just caught the defense off guard there.
Yeah.
I mean, they were not ready for him to just take it immediately up the middle.
Well, he's a dual threat. He can run and throw. So, the defense always got to keep an eye on Sean Lee.
And here he is throwing near side, screen pass, and getting
still
some
on his
yardage
feet.
out of it. Up
York High is
almost to the
making-
red zone. It's Zymier Hill again.
Your guys making contact, but they got to do a better job with tackles.
Wrapping.
They're there, but they got to do a better job with tackles. I want to give them your guy credit as well for catching Sean Lee. I mean, he's a fast runner and he still got caught. But your guy has to do a better job with wrapping up.
Sean Lee Jr. in the shotgun. 3 to his left, 1 to his right, hands it off.
Right
and
up the
it's
middle.
Up the middle
Still on his
again.
feet.
Up on his feet inside the 10-yard line for Zymir Hill.
Who already has a 15-yard touchdown run, and he may be adding to this total right now inside 2 minutes. And Harrisburg on the march here against York.
Sean Lee back in shotgun formation. Hands it off. This time it's not Hill. Gets in inside the 5-yard line. Nehemiah Ewell.
Nehemiah Ewell, a junior, 5'11", 190 pounds. More of a power back here for Harrisburg. And bring up a 2nd and goal. Ball on the 4-yard line.
Lee takes the snap. Looking end zone. Fires, and it's
What a
caught
catch!
in the end zone. Touchdown.
Did he have
Elias
possession?
Koch. It's ruled a touchdown. 12-0. Harrisburg extends the lead.
Great catch from Elias Koch. We talked about him earlier. Only had
Oh.
sophomore, had a great freshman season. He's long. I think he's listed about 6'3". What we got
They
here?
list him at 6'1".
6'1".
6'1", 195.
Really good football player.
You can see
Can run
why
routes really well. Like I said, they trust him. They just throw the ball up, and they believe he can go get it.
he went and got that one right now, and it's been all Harrisburg here in the first quarter. Waiting for the point after attempt, and whistles are blowing.
Barry Daniels for his 2nd point after attempt. Missed his first. Delays on the 2nd.
No good.
No good. Deflected off to the right side. And Barry Daniels 0 for 2 after a point after. And it's 12-0. Harrisburg leads over York on the Roxamore Sports Network as in collaboration with Sports Shooting Stars.
And if there's a weakness maybe for Harrisburg, it's the kicking game here, at least the point after attempts. But still, right now with a 12-0 lead. And York High has to bounce back here, looking for ways to get back into this game.
Also want to remind the fans that this is the first game of the season for both ball clubs. So, they got to shake some jitters off a little bit and get in tune with the game. And you'll see that in the first quarter. They'll, some penalties, maybe some mistakes, and then they'll start getting well gelled and well oiled, and they'll do a great job in the second half.
Left of that Harrisburg huddle, you can find Frank Gay, legendary coach around District 3, Redlands, and Camp Hill, and other programs around York and District 3. Here for a big game. There's a lot of people here for a big game, and there's a lot of people in tune with us here on Roxamore Sports Network and Sports Shooting Stars. We hope that you stay tuned throughout this game, the nightcap of the York Rose Bowl.
Harrisburg getting set to kick off here. Still in the first quarter.
Yep, 1:05 left in this first quarter of the final game from York Surburban. Barry Daniels. Daniels kickoff.
And I believe there's a flag on the play.
Still 1:05 left in this first quarter. In terms of York versus Central York this year, obviously a big matchup that I would assume is going to be broadcast live on Sports Shooting Stars later this year.
It has been, and it's always a season finale and one of our big broadcasts. This year it'll be held at Central York. Interesting to see. I mean, we saw the performance of Joel's Goff last night. A dynamic performance and really a player of the week candidate. I mean, with his performance against Central Dauphin.
6 touchdowns, 284 yards for Joel's Goff in the victory. He had a great way to start his season.
And here's the kickoff for York. They're going to run that one almost back to the 40-yard line.
Always a big rivalry, and it has turned into a rivalry, this Central York High. It tends to come down to that final game to win the Division I crown in YAIAA. Central's going to have a big game coming up this weekend. They're going to be traveling to Cumberland Valley. I know you're familiar, Luke, with Cumberland Valley, the Eagles. Their head coach, Josh Oswalt, the former Central York head coach.
Yeah, that's right. He was a big leader at Central York, and that's coming up this week, isn't it? Friday night.
In your territory up there at Cumberland Valley.
Oh, okay, yeah. Chapman Field, the site of the PIAA championships, where Harrisburg played once last year. And we'll go back to week 5. Looking forward to that matchup.
And the Big 33 game, is that going to be held there?
That was just this week that the Big 33 Football Classic, who had 2 Harrisburg guys last year in the game, was held at Bishop McDevitt High School, and now they're moving to their 4th location since 2017 to Chapman Field.
Well, a little shout-out to the MVP, offensive MVP of this year's game, Kenny Johnson.
Yeah, we were talking about that pregame.
Yeah, Dallastown Wildcat now at the University of Pitt and making some noise out there in camp for the Pitt Panthers.
Yeah, he's been doing really well, and believe he will continue to do well. Clock winding down under 9 seconds now after a defensive effort put forth there by...
That'd be the final play of the first quarter.
By Harrisburg on that play, and finding that rostered guy, Sir Kane Venable.
Sir Kane Venable, another name for Harrisburg to keep an eye on along the offense and defensive line.
So that does it for the first quarter of play. 104, 25% in the book. It's 12-0 Harrisburg over the York Bearcats.
And does this surprise you, the score right now, Luke, between the two teams?
I can't say I'm too surprised here with Harrisburg being out in the lead, but I'm looking forward to what happens in the second quarter coming up. But first, a quick word from our sponsors.
Fairview Early Learning and Community Center, located at 465 South Pine Street and 100 Lafayette Street here in York, Pennsylvania. Check their Facebook page out, Fairview Early Learning and Community Center.
I would also like to add Vincent Jamison is the owner of Fairview Early Learning Center. He's also a coach for York High, so he's out there on the field.
And let's not forget Parma Pizza and Grill, located at 476 East Main Street in Dallastown. Owner Darren Bonaquisti, always a big supporter of Sports Shooting Stars and local athletics here in the greater YAIAA area. Thornton Automotive of Dover with Wes Myers, located on Route 74 in Dover, right across the street from Max Ice Cream at 3885 Carlisle Road, Dover, Pennsylvania. Check them out on Facebook.
Back to live action. York Surburban High School pass over the middle is incomplete. The intended receiver on that one, Winnick Scott. So 11:54 left to go in the first half of play. It's York and Harrisburg on the Roxamore Sports Network, as well as Sports Shooting Stars. And 4th and 8 now from the 40-yard line. And they'll have to get to the 48 to convert.
And York High is starting to mix it up a little bit. They're running the ball and also throwing the ball with first-year quarterback George Banks Jr.
It looks like he's back pretty deep. Then they're in a punt formation. Back to receive.
Nice punt.
Is Jayon Lewis. No, I'm sorry. That's number 3, Kyler Williams. And it's going to roll out of bounds anyways.
And And Harrisburg bring their offense back out on the field with a 12-0 lead over the Bearcats, shutting the Bearcats out, the Cougars. And Luke, talk about Harrisburg's upcoming schedule. Who do they have on the docket coming up? I know York High will play Hempfield next week.
Yeah, Harrisburg's got a lot of Commonwealth opponents, and I'm gonna pull up their schedule here for the rest of their non-conference. Delaware Valley next week, which I believe was a game that got canceled for them last year, as well as Manheim Township in week 3. That's going to be a huge game with Manheim Township and Harrisburg.
That may be must-see TV there between Harrisburg and Manheim Township. Projected like 1-2 teams right now in District 3.
Yeah, the rematch in the District 3 6A championship game. That was a great game last year because it was another rematch of last year's regular season. They played each other twice last year and potentially twice again this year. 11:24 left in the first half here. It's 12-0 Cougars over the Bearcats.
Spread offense for Harrisburg. Lee under pressure. Eludes the rush.
He's going to try to continue to throw it. He goes down. Flag on the play.
We'll see what the call is here on the field. Personal foul face mask against Harrisburg. Moving back 15 yards.
So Sean Lee Jr. listed as the Mid-Penn's 5th best returning passer. Bishop McDevitt, Stone Saunders on the top of that list, followed by Alex Irby, who we just saw in the last game. Sean Lee Jr. at number 5.
Stone Sanders, he committed recently to the University of Kentucky, SEC school, correct?
Yeah, he committed August 4th to the University of Kentucky. He's trying to convince his Alabama commit wide receiver Rico Scott to join him. As there's a low ball, wasn't caught. Nehemiah Ewell with the grab there. But I was talking with Coach Devin Johnson from Imhotep early this morning ahead of their game, and he said, you know, when we went up against McDevitt last year in the Chambersburg Peach Bowl, all we were focused on was Rico Scott from that McDevitt team, and then it ended up that Tyshawn Russell, who's now at South Carolina, ended up having the big game for McDevitt. And a lot of these guys on this Harrisburg team have to make a decision whether they want to go to Bishop McDevitt or Harrisburg High.
Oh, big run
big
up
one.
the middle. Still on his feet.
Yeah, powering through to the 40-yard line. That's Nehemiah Ewell again.
And that's enough for a first down.
But we know LaShawn McCoy was a legend at Bishop McDevitt, and he said in a mini documentary about his time at Harrisburg that he had a tough decision deciding whether he wanted to go to McDevitt, become a Crusader, or go to Harrisburg, become a Cougar. I'm sure the same debate happened for Micah Parsons and a bunch of Division I and NFL players as that ball is loose, picked up by Harrisburg, avoiding trouble on that one, Salim Penn.
You mentioned Shady McCoy, and prior to that, I believe Ricky Running Waters.
Yeah,
was a Bishop
Ricky
McDevitt
Waters,
player, who went to Notre Dame and then had a decent career with San Francisco 49ers and was a Philadelphia Eagle there.
Here's the throw.
Sean Lee going deep.
Lee looking deep, and Elias Koch looking for a pass interference call on that one. Doesn't look like he's going to receive it. Looked like it was, good defense.
Yeah, one-on-one coverage there.
And as you can see, Elias Koch, they're going to go to him quite often, especially with the deep ball. He's only a sophomore. He's going to be there for the next 3 years. So Elias Koch is a guy you want to circle anytime you play against the Harrisburg Cougars.
And attracting some attention on the Division I level as a recruit. Trips formation near side for Harrisburg.
9:09 here in the second quarter. Flag on the play.
Like to see in the second quarter York High start to settle down a little bit. They got that first quarter out the way, first game of the season, going against an opponent, but right now they have to settle down a little bit. I think they're doing a good job, but just got to make sure they wrap up with the tackles and don't commit any more turnovers if they want to stay in the game. You can see a lot of other teams that played here today, they decide to stick around and watch this game. You can't see the full view, but this stadium is pretty much packed here tonight.
And rightly so. A main event matchup here tonight to finish out the 2023 York Rose Bowl here at Dick May Field on the campus of York Surburban High School.
Harrisburg looking to build on that 12-0 lead that they have over York.
There's
big play to the 40-yard line on that one, Elias Koch.
Had his blockers out there, just not enough to pick up the first down. Bringing up a 4th down and 11.
Yeah, this is likely going to force Harrisburg into another punt.
Hey, got to give a lot of credit to York High forcing Harrisburg to punt the ball. Some teams like Harrisburg, they rarely punt the ball, and York High's already forcing the second punt of this game.
Yeah, don't let this game fool you at a 12-0 score. This has been highly defensive.
Yes, it has. Both teams.
And Lee's going to go for it.
Lee's going for it.
They got it. Past the 50 and the 45. The York defense with some frustration on that one because they let Salim Penn, the freshman running back, burst through for a first down.
And for the Cougars, we've been calling freshmen and sophomores throughout this whole game. That's a scary thing to know about because they're going to be around for the next couple of years. But, York High has to buckle down and make some plays on defense.
So the drive continues with a 1st and 10 from the 45.
Timeout called by York
High.
High.
So York High School calls the timeout down by 12 with 8 minutes left in the half. First half of play and the nightcap on Roxamore Sports and Sports Shooting Stars.
I believe that's a great timeout for Russ Stoner to get his guys back underneath the fold so he can talk to them a little bit about, what you need to do on defense.
Slow down the momentum a little bit of Harrisburg. And
yes, sir.
Good timeout. And one timeout remaining for the York High Bearcats here before
Only one timeout remaining. Yep.
Harrisburg 12, York High 0.
It's been a beautiful day here at York Surburban at Dick May Field. I want to give a big shout out to Ron Corsi. He did a great job of organizing the York Rose Bowl. He's the main organizer for this event. He's also the AD here at York Surburban. He has some more ideas coming up with basketball, so he should be a part of that as well with the Roxamore Sports Network. So, really excited about, networking and, collaborating with different programs and, bringing the game to you in different ways.
And we had Ron Corsi here in the broadcast booth yesterday for an interview. He was gracious enough to stop by, and I know it's been busy 2 days for him. He's been running around here.
Yeah, I got here this morning, not exactly knowing what to expect with a smaller facility than what he may have had at the 6A Chambersburg Peach Bowl last year, but he's made it work very well these last couple of days, and props to him for making those projects come to fruition here. Week 1.
Oh, right up the middle. He could be gone. He is
20,
gone.
10, end zone, touchdown, Harrisburg Cougars.
Very
Zymir
shifty.
Hill,
His
junior
second-
running back.
His second touchdown run, and what an impact.
Zymir Hill.
Elias Cook, remember, had that touchdown reception as well, and it's just been a 1-2 punch here.
Number 14, Zymir Hill, only a junior, listed at 5'7", 165 running back.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
A little bit too much celebrating. I believe they still count the touchdown,
Yeah,
but there's going to be a penalty on the kick.
Yeah, the point after should be from pretty far back.
And they may even go for it, 2-point conversion with them being back. I'm not 100% sure, but very shifty guy, Mr. Hill. Made one move, has great field vision, and it's off to the races. York High has to do something on the defensive side to kind of, bottle that up, kind of stack the box. But you can't really stack the box because Sean Lee has a big arm. So that's one-on-one coverage with the DBs.
And, of course, out there on the island, you have Elias Koch, which already has 1 touchdown reception. And then this 1-2 punch in the running backfield here for Harrisburg. Salim Penn, the freshman, number 4, and then number 14, Zymir Hill.
It's a little bit too much of a celebration after the score, and I think that's the reason why. I think that's the reason why the disorderly conduct was called. Want to keep things, fair and sportsmanlike.
A kicking unit comes out for Harrisburg. And a 3-touchdown lead now for the Cougars.
So the extra point after for Harrisburg, 7:51 in the first half. And this kick is up. This one looks like it's good. Yes, it is. Third point after is made for Harrisburg. That brings us to a 19-0 score from York Surburban High School. Harrisburg and York on the Roxamore Sports Network in collaboration with Sports Shooting Stars.
And as we always say, it's a 4-quarter game. You can't get your head down too much. It's a tale of 2 halves sometimes as well,
yes.
Todd. You know that from all the games we have filmed where, one team comes out gangbusters pretty much in the first half. Then the second half, you make some adjustments. Then the other team comes out, kind of evens up the score. Hopefully that happens with York High. They have to stop the big play yardage. I mean, I think that's killing them right now because these are 2 fast teams. If York High gets an opportunity to kind of get the ball, in an open field, there's nobody that's going to catch that running back, and that's how it is for Harrisburg. Once they get the open look, it's just off to the races.
7:51 to go in the second quarter of play. Harrisburg High School and York High School in the battle between the cities, the battle between the capitals. We know that York was the nation's first capital. Harrisburg is PA's state capital.
A little history lesson there.
Yeah, going back to the days of the Articles of Confederation. Boy, you did your homework here coming down to York.
I'm going to give a shout-out to Luke. Yeah, and we want to give a shout-out to Luke Brown as well, man. He's only a senior, going into his senior year. He does a great job on the commentary.
Yes.
This is what he wants to do going to college. Luke, how long have you been involved in commentary?
I started my sophomore year at Camp Hill High School doing their football games and basketball, baseball, things like that. And now I'm up doing a bunch of mid-pan coverage up in the Harrisburg area. 3rd year going into it here, and loved it every day.
Yes.
No doubt. Luke, you do a great job, man,
Yeah.
for only being a senior. We're in our
Exactly.
40s now, Todd.
yeah,
so,
it's-
you see young guys like him, still, starting off and being very eager
Energetic
about it.
and
Yeah,
eager.
energetic.
Exactly.
I think that's a
Passionate.
great thing.
I'm sure you saw the other week the baseball game from Williamsport. They had the youngsters kids broadcast there.
The kids cast.
Yeah, the kids cast. It was
Oh, that's
amazing,
awesome.
the moxie that the kids had.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the one sideline reporter.
I'll mention I've been working with Roxamore Sports. This is my 3rd event here with Roxamore Sports as well. 2 events down in Chambersburg and now down in York for the first time. Here's a jet sweep to the near side for York.
And if York
Monique
wants
Scott.
that play to work out, they have to do some blocking up front. The big men up front have to block and give their running backs an opportunity, their ball handlers the opportunity to get some yardage.
There's number 55, Mike McMonigle, the right tackle, the Maryland commit.
7:15 here in the second quarter of play. It's a 19-0 lead for the Cougars over the Bearcats. 2 sidecars, one to the left, one to the right, and flag on the
And that was a
play.
scary play right there.
Yeah,
As you see, number 12 for the Cougars came right up in the middle.
It's Ryan Epps.
And Ryan Epps is not a small guy.
Listed at 6'1", 230 pounds.
How do you stop that, Todd? How do you stop a guy like that coming straight through the middle with all that power?
Yeah.
You
The
can't
producer
double
says
team
maybe
him.
trip him.
Yeah, maybe. Well, he's coming again. Like I said, he smells some blood in the water, and Mr. Epps is coming right through the middle. George
Here's
Banks with the
throw
pass
over the middle.
to
It's
David
good.
Ward.
Near sidelines.
Nice
Jukes
move by Ward.
Past the 40, the 35, up to about the 33-yard line. What a play.
Hey,
And
great
York
play.
High
David
needed that.
Ward.
Yeah, great play from George Banks to David Ward, and David Ward's a fan favorite. The fans love when he has the ball in his hands. So great job of getting to your playmakers and giving your team an opportunity to get down the field.
So it puts the Cougars on the 32 with a 1st and 10. 6:39 left to go here in the first half of play.
Banks back in shotgun formation.
Takes
Another
a
quick
snap,
throw.
looking
Looking to
for the
throw it
middle.
again.
I think that's a great game plan. Quick throws and just run the ball. Small little dump offs. I think that's going to be really good for York High to keep moving the ball down the field. All you want is a first down. Just keep getting first downs. Keep chewing up the clock and working your way down the field. Don't do nothing special or extra as the kids would say. Just kind of play that ground game pretty much. York High football.
Gabriel Rivera on that last reception for the Bearcats. And it looks like we're going to see a timeout here.
And that's the last timeout for York High.
Yeah, interesting here. And still 6 minutes remaining here.
No, it's a
before-
false start. False start on York. Going to back him up 5 yards.
And York High players, they have to get used to George Banks' cadence, what he likes to do as a quarterback, and that's going to take some time as well. So,
Now
you may
the-
give a false start here and there because they're not 100% used to his cadence.
After the false start, a timeout that York calls their final of the half. Coach Russell Stoner going to communicate with his Bearcat guys. And we're going to cut to commercial, talk a little bit about HBO's new documentary, BS High. We return as action resumes from York Suburban.
IMG to kick off to Bishop Sycamore.
Do you want my hands like this, like that?
Just be natural. You don't have to try.
Coach Roy Johnson told us they had a number of Division I prospects.
Too high, tip, intercepted. Banks in a pick six. Into the end zone. He'll waltz in, and that will do it.
Do I look like a con artist?
How this happens got a lot of people scratching their head. Bishop Sycamore is not even a real high school.
They did not have teachers.
We really was pretty much on our own.
We didn't have any trainers. People were sharing helmets.
It was disgusting.
And we returned from York Suburban High School after a brief showing of that trailer for the new documentary on HBO Max, BS High. I mean,
a little bit of teaser there. I mean, I kind of keep it playing. We want to see more of it, but I'm sure we'll play the remainder of that.
It was a fake high school without any teachers or anything. They played the famed IMG Academy on ESPN in a primetime spot. So I actually watched some of that game live when it was on at Pro Football Hall of Fame's stadium in Canton is where they were playing that game. It's got to be an amazing story about how all of that came together, because you would think there would have to be documents proving who you are and what you do.
Exactly.
But they such an interesting story that you can find out more about on HBO Max that features Roxamore Sports Network film when they played at Woodland Hills High School.
That's what I'm talking about. Background.
So here is 5 minutes and 3 seconds left in the second quarter. Fourth and 4 from the 26-yard line.
And it looks like York High is going to keep their offense out on the field.
And some of these York Bearcats, just... Oh, it's going to be a timeout, York.
Well, they still had one time. I thought they called their timeout earlier, but...
Yeah, I guess that's going to be their final now, going into the halftime break.
With 4:40 to go.
Yeah, 4 minutes, 40 seconds, 26-yard line, and a 4th and 4. I mean, this is a big play. There's still plenty of time to score if you can convert on this one.
Big fourth down here for York High. They need to convert, move the chains, and potentially break the ice and get their first score here at the 2023 York Rose Bowl.
The biggest surprise in this game has to be Zymir Hill. I mean, who would have thought that a guy when it came out. Zymir Hill and Salim Penn, the freshman for Harrisburg. I mean, when you talk about reloading and restocking a talented team, that's the way it works.
There's a guy here that works here. So that's that guy. My wife texted me he was here.
440. 4th and 4.
Literally, no, it just armed itself. I think it's on the timer. Oh yeah.
A big conversion coming up here for York.
It's Ward in motion.
And they're going to run it up the middle. It looks like
Wow, I don't think
Harrisburg
they
got
got
the
it.
stop. I was fully expecting a pass play there.
Yeah. Likewise, I thought that may have been a pass play, kind of a rollout, see what you got going on. They were doing a great job of just dumping it off with the slant routes and getting some yardage just to hand it off, 4th and 5.
And the ball turns over back to Harrisburg. And Harrisburg now, with 2 timeouts remaining, 4:33, plenty of time for Harrisburg to drive down the field. Ball looks like it'll be set up just beyond the 26-yard line.
So Harrisburg back with possession.
And spreading out their offense, it would appear to be.
26-yard line, so needing to make up 74 yards in 4 minutes and 33 seconds.
Sean Lee back, looking to throw the ball.
He
and
gets it over the middle. Elias Koch with a big-time play.
You just got to keep an eye on Elias Koch. If not, he's going to burn you all game long. He already has a touchdown, big-time touchdown at that. And they've been targeting him a few times, so you cannot keep him open. They gotta go man-to-man and, some bump and run situation going on. You can't give him too much space because he's going to slant route and make plays.
Here's Lee.
Great defense.
Lee fakes out, and York with a big stop.
York High sniffed that one out,
Yes,
but I want
they
to give a
did.
lot of credit to Sean Lee for not throwing that ball because that could have been an
could.
easy fumble or an interception. Great heads-up play.
43-yard line is where that ball is going to be spotted. Loss of 4 on the sack.
Bring up a 2nd down for Harrisburg.
Second and 14 now from the 43.
Back to the
Run
running
play.
game.
Up the middle and up to the 49.
Great play from Imani Bones, the running back, also DB.
It was Nehemiah well on the carry out near midfield.
Should make it 3rd and 8. It does.
Let me correct that, not DB, linebacker on defense, Imani Bones.
Harrisburg has to get to York High's 43-yard line for a first down. And a quarterback keeper by Sean
Lee
Lee.
himself, and probably made almost all of that 8 yards that they needed to convert. It's going to bring up 4th and maybe
Yeah, I
1 or
think
2.
They're just short, Luke. And an interesting decision here by Coach Everett as to whether or not you keep your offense on the field or.
Well, I believe he's going to keep the offense on the field. He was playing aggressive football in the first quarter when it was I think it was like a 4th and 7, and he won for it. So I think he's going to stay aggressive, especially with a 3-score lead. He has the leisure of challenging York High's defense.
So here's a 4th and 3.
York High has to make a big play here. Harrisburg's going to call a timeout to talk it over. Coach Everett.
Yeah,
and they may end up kicking the ball. Who knows? And kind of pinning York High back, in their own end zone.
Yeah, and play a game of field position here.
Absolutely.
With, being up 19-0 right now. 2 minutes, 23 seconds before halftime. Our 3rd and final contest today. Of course, we had 2 games yesterday for a total of 5 games here at the 2023 York Rose Bowl at Dick May Field, the campus of York Surburban High School. And what a crowd we have for the nightcap here between York High and Harrisburg.
Yeah, this is our showcase game. This is the game that, a lot of our fans from around here were waiting to see. And, it has been a pretty action-packed game so far. Obviously, the Cougars are in the head. They're doing a great job of, getting the ball to their playmakers. York High still sticking around, making some good defensive plays. They show some progress on offense. And again, with first-year quarterback George Banks, he's going to have to, be the leader of that offense as well. So, it's all about second-half adjustments as well, Todd. It's a tale of two halves most of the time.
Yeah, and Banks has such a big game here to just prove himself. As the starting quarterback of this squad, week 1, he's got plenty of time to recover, and I don't think he's played a bad ball game. But if they lose this one, he's got plenty of time to continue working on his skills and proving himself as the quarterback.
Absolutely.
So here
There's some movement on the line for Harrisburg.
Sean Lee.
And he's going deep again.
Downfield.
Lee's got an open
And
receiver.
connects.
And it's Elias
Elias
Koch.
Koch,
He's
30,
still on his
25,
feet.
20.
To the 10,
Wow.
the end zone, touchdown Harrisburg. Elias Koch, who knows if the ball was really even intended for him. He makes the grab into the end zone, 25-0 Harrisburg.
He's just a big-time player. I mean, that's all you can say about Elias Koch. He's doing a great job so far.
Unofficially, a 46-yard touchdown reception, his second of the game, and boy, it's all Harrisburg right now.
And you got to wrap up with the tackles. We said that earlier. You're getting some contact, you're being physical, but you got to wrap up with the tackles.
How he just come from behind and snatch the ball.
And just a sophomore, as you mentioned, and getting looks. I know Penn State's.
Oh, he's getting
looking
D1
ahead.
looks.
Yeah, and you can see why after tonight's performance. And we haven't even reached halftime yet.
Barry
Kick is up.
Daniels
And that's a big-time kick as well.
goes from 0-2 to 2-4 on the day from point after attempts. 2:11 left in the first half. It's Harrisburg 26, York 0 with 2:11 left in the second quarter. This is the final presentation of the York Rose Bowl on the Roxamore Sports Network in collaboration with Sports Shooting Stars.
Who's Dave Berman?
He is out of.
He's commenting on stuff and he's trying to tell him what to do. Tell me? Trying to tell him what to do in the feed section. So you might want to fall back.
Why don't Dave? What does he say?
Tell this guy to see this and see that. I wish Ty was the one doing the play-by-play. Come on, man.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Dave knows me.
It don't matter. He shouldn't have said it. He's gonna come out and get blocked.
And we return here with a touchback.
Bring the ball out to the 20-yard line. And York High will set up shop. No timeouts. 2:11 remaining before halftime.
Like I pay attention to stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like that's important.
2:11 here left to go, and it's a Harrisburg 26-0 lead. Luke Brown, Dew Jones, Todd Edwards here with you.
The Roxamore Sports Network here in collaboration with York Sports Shooting Stars. And right now it's been all Harrisburg. We'll see if York High can get on track here offensively.
Quarterback keeper for York.
And some positive yards there for.
Yeah, up to the 25.
Great job from George Banks Jr. And York High has to stay disciplined. They have to stay locked in. They got to understand that it's a 4-quarter game. Some teams come out punching them out first, and, it's your job to, respond to that. So, the game's not over. Still have a lot of football left in this game. And like I said, halftime is all about adjustments. So let's see what kind of adjustments Coach Russ Stoner has for his ball club. Right now, everything's working in the Cougars' favor.
Shotgun
It
snap.
looks like a blitz is coming. Look at
Yeah,
Epps right through the middle.
And powering
Man.
up
Good job
for
from York
extra
High.
yardage.
Getting
Just
a few yardage.
Zaire Gwynn with a carry for York High.
If I'm not mistaken, Samir Gwynn is a freshman who just got his carrier number 21.
His first carry of the game.
First carry of the game, only as a freshman as well.
Big stage here at the York Rose Bowl.
He's not a little guy, though. They have him listed at 185. Looks like a little miscommunication in the backfield.
And George Banks just falls down. Yeah,
it was either that or get a big time hit. He did the safe move as far as getting down, having an opportunity to call another play with this second and 11 coming up.
So just over a minute to go before the halftime break. We'll bring you a halftime report. And
a fumble.
Ball's loose.
Ball is loose. And
does Harrisburg have control? Yes, they do.
Oh.
And that's a tough one.
So heartbreaking for York. 46 seconds remain, and this sets up Harrisburg in ideal field position. Off the fumble.
46 seconds. That's how much time Harrisburg has to make their mark to finish off this first half.
And one timeout remaining for Harrisburg. Ball be set down on the 25-yard line. And the way the offense is moving here for Harrisburg, they could punch another score in before halftime. Possible injury timeout there. The York High Bearcat looks like, is that number 2 on his knee?
Yeah, that's Amani Bones, sophomore.
And that's not the guy you want to see injured. He's a major force on the defense and offensive side. You want to keep him in the game as much as possible. Hopefully it's just a cramp like these other guys that been getting cramps.
He's on his feet, walking off.
Want to give a shout out to his dad, Eric Bones. He was a part of that York High 1995 district title team that won the district title in 1995. Now his son is playing as well. I know it's a beautiful thing to see your kids out there playing and playing for your old school as well. I mean, I think that's pretty dope.
And Amani Bones had some carries last year. He spelled relief for Jaheim White. We saw him play last season as a freshman for York High.
And quickly, speaking about that 95 team from York High, I want to give a rest in peace out to Steve Mayo. A lot of fans from York High know him as Boomer. Passed away 2 weeks ago. Really affected the community. I want to say our heart and our thoughts and prayers are out to his family all throughout. We filmed some of his kids, and he has a lot of family and a lot of ties to York County. So big shout out to Steve Mayo, aka Boomer. Part of that 95 title team, was a major part of that win.
46.4 to play.
Me going for it all.
And it's drops in the end zone to Mekhi Jackson, the intended receiver on that one, the junior from Harrisburg High School. Clock winds down to 40.4 in this first half. All right, so it looks like Steele High and Amani Christian, the front runner for game of the showcase this weekend after what was a great game in the midday coverage here on Roxamore Sports Network in collaboration with Sports Shooting Stars.
Trips formation far side for Harrisburg. Sean
Lee
drops back.
Swarm, and he
coming.
gets past.
He eludes it.
Sean
down to
Lee
the 20. 15,
to the 10.
10.
And Sean Lee to the 6-yard line. What a play. Sean Lee, he had the entire tsunami of defenders coming towards him, and he gets past.
That's replay worthy there. I'll tell you what. Highlight reel worthy there by Sean Lee Jr. Amazing.
Sean Lee Jr., very shifty with the ball. We talked about that earlier. He's a dual threat. He can throw the ball and he can run. York High's trying their best, but, I got to give a lot of credit to Sean Lee. He's just that type of athlete. He can make something out of nothing. He's been showing it so far in his first half.
Incredible.
Let me tell you, that reminds you that what they say, don't blitz the what quarterback in the NFL, is that the one from the Bills? Don't blitz him. Don't blitz him. You mean Patrick Mahomes? Before I get played. That's what that looked like right there.
Yeah, Sean Lee with an incredible play.
Yeah, and an injured Harrisburg Cougar down in the end zone. Can't quite make out who's injured there, but right now a timeout on the field with 32 seconds remaining before halftime, and it has been all Harrisburg tonight with the lead 26-0 over York High. Being shut out tonight.
32.4 seconds to play in this first half, and after a cramp, and it looks like he's good.
Yeah, he's up walking on his own power.
Show for a few seconds. Myself is having a delay. I'm gonna have to during the halftime. I'm gonna have to,
Definitely want to thank all the fans for tuning in, and also all the fans that came out to the field tonight at York Surburban High School. It's been a very good first time York Rose Bowl. Friday and Saturday, me and Ty has clocked in a lot of hours, having a really good time. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors really quickly.
OSS Health, located at 1855 Powder Mill Road, right here in York, Pennsylvania. OSS Health offers high-quality orthopedic care in York, Hanover, Gettysburg, and Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
And big shout out to Becky Roosh over at OSS Health. She was the main person making sure that we had an opportunity for them to sponsor with us this year. So big shout out to Becky.
And here it
Ties in nicely.
Harrisburg.
We're back to action.
Inside the 10-yard line and a running clock that's going to stop.
10.
It looks like a timeout taken by Harrisburg here.
That'll be their third and final timeout.
And York High has to put up a stance right now. They don't want to go into the locker room down 32 or 33 points. I think it'd be very beneficial for them to have a stop on this last series.
24.6 seconds remain in this first half.
Both teams going to talk things over here. As you mentioned, York High needs a stop.
What are you doing if you're Harrisburg in this potentially last 2 or 3 plays?
Just give the ball to Sean Lee. He can make
He's
plays.
proved that he
man.
deserved
Just give
it,
the
yeah.
ball to Sean Lee. He can make plays. He's a high IQ type of football player. You can tell he makes the right decisions. With the ball in his hand, you're in good shape.
Well, not just Sean Lee Jr., but how about Zamir Hill? 2 touchdowns.
Zamir Hill.
And Elias Koch with 2 touchdown receptions. A lot of weapons. A lot of firepower on this Harrisburg Cougar offense.
And just to add on, Sean Lee was only a freshman last year when they won district title. So, he's confident. He's cool. They played in states.
And
He's
hungry.
hungry.
For
Absolutely, man.
Well, we saw Harrisburg dismantle Central 44-7 last year in that district matchup. We broadcasted that game. And, of course, Kyle Williams had a great game.
Had a great
that
game.
night.
As far as Mekhi Hopkins as well.
Hopkins, 1-2 punch.
Everybody was just rolling on there. And
Lee under pressure. He eludes it.
Flag on the play, but he's in for the end zone. Touchdown score. Flag on the play. We'll see what it is, and it looks like it may go against Harrisburg.
Sean Lee is a dog. You can just kind of tell him. He has a swagger about him. He has a moxie about him. And, definitely, like I said, you want to be fair to both teams, but, he's definitely proven that he's the alpha out there. Sean Lee, the quarterback for for the Harrisburg Cougars. And that's against the Harrisburg Cougars, and that's going to go back about 5 to 10 yards.
They got some more 13. Slowing down the game. Can't believe it. Everybody be having so much high hope for York. The next thing you know.
And that big district playoff game against Harrisburg with Central York, that's probably after that York versus Central matchup in the round 1 of those 6A playoffs. Yeah, Harrisburg goes on to beat Manheim Township, who they had previously lost to in the regular season, and all the way winning the state semifinal against State College, who they also faced in the regular season. As here's Sean Lee again. This time he's taken down for a sack, and that is going to keep the clock rolling.
And Harrisburg has to hurry up here.
Try to get another playoff.
Great job from Jameer Green, number 8 for York High, with the big time sack.
1, and they just get the snap on.
And they're going up. They're going up.
This is the final play.
Elias Koch with the touchdown reception.
Flag on the play. Elias Koch in the back right corner of the end zone. That's a Harrisburg score.
As time expires.
They got that play off with maybe
incredible
0.3 seconds left, and we'll see if it counts. After the flag, Kevin Brown does not look happy
and I think
listening into the refs.
And if I'm not mistaken, that may be against number 3 for York High, but on our roster, we have 2 number 3s, so I don't know exactly which number 3 that is.
pass interference on the offensive pass interference.
But that's
that touchdown will be negated.
And that's great news for the York High Bearcats.
Yeah, instead of 32, it's 26 at the halftime
Well,
break.
We said that earlier. Elias Cook is a physical, big-time player, so he's gonna provide a little bit of a bump and run when you throw the ball up to him. And that time they called offensive pass interference.
We'll see whether we're going to halftime or not. They're gonna get a final playoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they shouldn't have any more time on the clock. It expired, and I'm not 100% sure of the procedure at the high school level, but the time expired and the penalty was against the offense, so not 100% sure why they still have the ball.
So they're gonna.
Are they gonna go back to the same play
from the 35?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been working the whole time.
Trips right, one to the left.
Looks like they're going back to the same play.
Lee
York
under
High
a lot of
bringing the house.
pressure, and
Great
Lee.
job from York High.
Lee's
He
gonna
caught
get it
at
off.
the 30.
Makes a completion.
Still on his feet.
Harrisburg still on their feet at the 10. And marks down at the 8-yard line. Really wanted that one because Sean Lee made an unbelievable throw. But nevertheless, it's 26-0 at the halftime break. The Cougars lead the Bearcats on the Roxamore Sports Network along with a partnership with Sports Shooting Stars. Halftime break. We come to you with the halftime report coming up. Stay tuned on the Roxamore Sports Network and Sports Shooting Stars.
IMG to kick off to Bishop Sycamore.
Do you want my hands like this, like that?
Just be natural. You don't have to try.
Coach Roy Johnson told us they had a number of Division I prospects.
Too high, tip, intercepted. Thanks in a pick six. Into the end zone. He'll waltz in, and that will do it.
Do I look like a con artist?
How this happens got a lot of people scratching their head. Bishop Sycamore is not even a real high school.
They did not have teachers.
We really was pretty much on our own.
We didn't have any trainers. People were sharing helmets.
It was disgusting. I was literally sick to my stomach.
I can't believe this happened again.
My philosophy in business is do what the people who have the money do, even if you don't have the money.
Roy will tell you he's a liar.
He knew what to say, how to say it.
He's like, oh, man, you got to let that go. I said, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to let go. I'm going to let go of his neck after I grab it.
I think I'm the most honest liar that I know.
How can you coach kids and you know it's not a school?
Roy would tell people, you're going to be playing in Alabama.
He was just selling me a dream.
Ohio was embarrassed by this. They called the thing explicitly a scam. And then said they couldn't do a damn thing about it.
Bishop Sycamore does not happen if there wasn't an abundance of money in high school sports.
Let's go! Did I break a law? Is it illegal? Am I in jail? We're on ESPN. Win, lose, or draw, we win.
This is not what we were supposed to create.
How do I tell my mama that coach wants me to do the same stuff that you try to get me away from?
You say you care about it, but did you really?
Can we take a break? That's some bullshit.
1, 2, 3, all right!
Trouble can find anyone. At Frank Walker Law, we take the time to understand your situation and work tirelessly on your behalf. Hard-hitting representation when you need it the most. A real law firm, getting real results.
Back from York Surburban High School, Luke Brown, Todd Edwards, and Dew Jones with you for the final of 5 games from York Surburban High School. As you can see, William Penn York's band is on the field for their halftime demonstration, and we're up here in the booth analyzing what we just saw in the first half, and we saw a lot. There's a lot to unpack here. Harrisburg almost scores on the final drive of the first half, and a lot more out of the first half of that one.
Yeah, 2 touchdown runs by Harrisburg running back Zymir Hill, and then, of course, Elias Koch has 2 touchdown receptions, and at one point it looked like he may have had a 3rd reception there.
Yeah.
That was negated due to the penalty, but it's been all Harrisburg right now in the first half. And it'll be interesting to see what adjustments are made for York High in the second half to maybe make this game a bit more competitive heading into the second half of the game.
Yeah, a 6A showdown between 2 city schools, York and Harrisburg. You're going to expect a lot of offense, I think, out of those 2 schools. I mean, not to discount the defenses that they put together year after year, but there's a lot of offensive power within these 2 schools, especially Harrisburg. Elias Koch, Zymir Williams, I believe it was.
And let's not forget the other running
Zymir
back.
Hill.
Yeah, along with, Celine Penn, the freshman running back.
Yeah, he got a lot of touches in the first quarter.
Very impressive. And it's interesting to see, again, what adjustments will be made in the second half. If you're Harrisburg, you kind of keep the foot on the pedal and continue to do what's working for them offensively and defensively here against the York High Bearcats. As we see the York High Bearcat marching band entertaining the fans here at halftime. A packed house here at Dick May Field on the campus of York Surburban High School. All being brought to you by the Roxamore Sports Network in collaboration with Sports Shooting Stars. We thank you for tuning in, not just tonight, but last night with 2 games. Big wins by York Tech and East Pennsboro last night, and of course tonight, Emotep with a big win there. I think
that was a lot of fun to watch. Emotep Charter with a huge 87-0 win over Life Christian from Virginia.
The most lopsided game I've had the chance to call.
Yeah,
in my
I would
career.
agree with you. I mean, I'm almost positive that I've never seen almost 90.
And then Steel High with a big win over Amani Christian.
And, Steel High once again shows out for a big win, and I think you're going to be seeing that all year long with Steel High. I mean, as I mentioned earlier today, in a 3-legged race with West Perry and Trinity out of that Mid-Penn Capital Division, but I think that they're going to be successful no matter what. And they were successful for so long in state playoffs last year. I know a lot of people were really questioning, like, when are they going to be tested? And they never really were tested. I felt like they were tested today.
Yeah, they were tested today, and a chance for the Irbies to be 4-time state champs. Something that just doesn't happen that often. I remember back in the 80s in this area, Billy Owens with Carlisle won 4 titles at the state level, then went on to Syracuse. But, yeah, in rarefied air there, the Irbies are right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex Irby and Andrew Irby, the son of Andrew Irby Sr., the head coach over there at Steel High. They've been involved since freshman year, and they've showed that they deserve it. Now with offers from Penn State and Pitt and the other schools that you mentioned.
I think Maryland's on the docket. Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see where they decide to go, and if, for that matter, if both of them will attend the same university.
Yeah. I know they were looking. James Madison is one of their big targets, and James Madison has a hold around a lot of Mid-Penn guys like Chase Regan, who we saw last night, or I saw last night at McDevitt High School, as well as Riley Robel, state champion wrestler also from Bishop McDevitt. So James Madison certainly knows how to recruit the area, and it's interested to see if they get a hold of the Irby brothers.
Yeah, and they're in their senior year, so looking forward to their decision, and I'm sure they'll have a big press conference announcing where they'll go, and we'll follow them on social media.
Yeah, absolutely. Back to York Surburban High School, where you have Harrisburg and York. What do you do if you're the York Bearcats here in the second half?
Well, you try to limit your mistakes, obviously, and maybe try to mix in a good blend of running and passing. They need to find a spark offensively, and they just haven't found it in the first half. Much credit to Harrisburg Cougars defense, because they've been pitching the shutout so far, and I'm sure they're going to continue to carry that on in the second half. Their hope is to limit the carries by Amani Bones, and we'll see if he's able to come back. He looked to walk off the field on his own accord, but we'll see if he's further injured as this game progresses. George Banks Jr. stepping in at the quarterback position, and a senior, his first start. And, of course, David Ward, another playmaker for York High Bearcats. I think you have to get David Ward into the mix. He does have an offer for the University of Charlotte as a junior receiver, and also plays basketball for York High.
So you're from the Sports Shooting Stars Network, based here out of York, watching a Lancaster Lebanon team, Manheim Township, go down to Dallastown on Friday night. That's just in 6 days on the Sports Shooting Stars Network. This Harrisburg squad is also going to face off against Manheim Township. Who do you like in that matchup, Week 3?
I tell you, that's a main event matchup. I got a feeling you may be watching that game. How about it?
I might be broadcasting that game. Yeah,
what a game to broadcast. And you mentioned earlier in this broadcast, that may be the first of 2 games this season for these teams between Harrisburg and Manheim Township. Should be a main event matchup. And right now, the edge, of course, Manheim Township defeated Cumberland Valley opening week last night. Should be interesting to see. And, of course, Manheim Township traveling to Dallas now. We'll have that game on Sports Shooting Stars. But, hey, boy, what a matchup. I envy your position. I would love to be in the broadcast booth for Week 3. Week 3 for us will be at Central as they play host to Hempfield.
Oh, okay, yeah. A lot of big football games coming up on Sports Shooting Stars, as well as the second half of this one. I asked you about what you would do as a Bearcat. As for Harrisburg High School, who's so far your player of the game? And who are you really paying attention to in the second half?
It has to come down right now to Elias Koch or Zymir Hill. Right now it's 1A and 1B. Both players really contributing. Both each have 2 touchdowns. We'll see if they can add to their total here in the second half. But Elias Koch is good as advertised, and you can see why he's getting a lot of attention from Division I coaches. and campuses around the country.
Yeah, absolutely. Elias Koch, who holds an offer from Penn State University. I mentioned earlier in today's broadcast that Trinity High School's Messiah Meckens, who just committed to Penn State, is also looking to get Elias Koch on board now. So we're going to close up our halftime report here from York Surburban High School. We're going to go to commercial, take another look at BS High, only on HBO Max.
BS High, and that's only on HBO Max, you said.
IMG to kick off to Bishop Sycamore.
Do you want my hands like this, like that?
Just be natural. You don't have to try. Coach Roy Johnson told us they had a number of Division I prospects.
Too high, tip, intercepted. Thanks in a pick six. Into the end zone. He'll waltz in, and that will do it.
Do I look like a con artist?
How this happens got a lot of people scratching their head. Bishop Sycamore is not even a real high school.
They did not have teachers.
We really was pretty much on our own.
We didn't have any trainers. People were sharing helmets.
It was disgusting. I was literally sick to my stomach.
I can't believe this happened again.
My philosophy in business is do what the people who have the money do, even if you don't have the money.
Roy will tell you he's a liar.
He knew what to say, how to say it.
He's like, oh man, you gotta let that go. I said, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna let go. I'm gonna let go of his neck after I grab it.
I think I'm the most honest liar that I know.
How can you coach kids and you know it's not a school?
Roy would tell people, you're gonna be playing in Alabama.
He was just selling me a dream.
Ohio was embarrassed by this. They called the thing explicitly a scam. And then said they couldn't do a damn thing about it.
Bishop Sycamore does not happen if there wasn't an abundance of money in high school sports.
Let's go! Did I break a law? Is it illegal? Am I in jail? We're on ESPN. Win, lose, or draw, we win.
This is not what we were supposed to create.
How do I tell my mama that coach wants me to do the same stuff that you try to get me away from?
You say you care about it, but did you really?
Can we take a break? That's some bullshit.
And we're live from York Surburban High School, back here from York, Pennsylvania on the Roxamore Sports Network in collaboration with Sports Shooting Stars, Luke Brown, Todd Edwards, Dew Jones, Leon Rockymore, and the entire Roxamore Sports crew. We thank you for joining us this evening for another great night of football. Tonight from York, Pennsylvania, it's the York Bearcats and the Harrisburg Cougars, the 6A state champion runner-ups, Harrisburg, who played St. Joe's Prep in their state final game, and St. Joe's Prep making headlines tonight, losing to IMG Academy 17-14.
That's rare to see St. Joseph Prep lose, and
right.
Of course, but then again, IMG Academy, another impressive school out of Florida, and they know how to win as well. So what a main event matchup, and that was on national television. It's just incredible to see the exposure that those.
Yeah, ESPN2 televised that game from Ocean City, New Jersey, which is a beautiful stadium out if you ever get to see it in Ocean City. But their St. Joe's Prep is actually not too far down the road next week in Wilmington, Delaware, facing St. Peter's Prep. St. Joe's, obviously the #1 school in the state and within the top 10 in the country for high school football. Harrisburg listed as one of the top 6A teams in the state as well. And they'll take on the second half on pace for a 52-0 win with 26 up at the half against York.
As both teams have made their way out of the locker room, just kind of warming up, getting ready for the second half of this game, and it's been all Harrisburg. Scored 26-0 over York High.
Yeah, Elias Koch has had a dynamite game for them as the clock winds down just under a minute to go here at halftime. And taking a look at the comment section here at the on YouTube, Roxamore Sports Network. Thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Seems like everybody's just in awe of how good this Harrisburg team really is. Even Harrisburg alumni Amir Jones, who played in that Big 33 football classic, East Stroudsburg freshman now, and an absolute stud at Harrisburg High School, says that this game is over. But we'll see what happens in this second half. York, who put together a strong performance in Week 1 last year against Woodland Hills, see if they can put together another strong Week 1 here in this second half. 26-0, the score. Just about to enter the third quarter of play from York, PA. Getting ready to kick off the second half of action here between Harrisburg and York. And Todd, while you were away, I was just saying in that YouTube comment section, Amir Jones, who used to play for this Harrisburg squad, is commenting, well, this one's over.
This one's over. He's putting it out there already, huh?
Yeah, Amir Jones, who's now a freshman at East Stroudsburg University, off their football team with Terrell Reynolds. And here is the kickback, and what a play off the Harrisburg defense.
Looks almost like he was clotheslined there by number 21.
Shamar Proctor.
A little WWE out there on the field there on that play. Flag thrown.
.11:52 left to go in this third quarter, beginning the second half, 26-0. Harrisburg in the lead.
Waiting word from the officials here.
York moving the ball up.
Yeah, it looks like a personal foul.
Yeah, that's going to move the ball up quite a bit.
Yeah, near midfield.
Yeah, right on the 48-yard line.
This conversion will allow us to get to the rest of this game freeze-free, if that makes sense.
Banks back, looking to throw.
He's going to go for it himself. Past the 50 up to the 45-yard line. And York.
And that's a great job from Banks, making something out of nothing, number 15.
Some positive yards here for the Bearcats to start the second half of this game. And that's what they're going to need to do to piece things together here and kind of crawl back into this game.
Well, there's 100 yards on the field, so you just want to kind of take each yard you can, keep the ball in the offensive, hands, and not give it back to the Cougars. They're doing a great job of scoring some big-time touchdowns and really getting the crowd excited and getting them locked in. And, you know, York High has to take back some of that momentum. As we often say, you know, it's a tale of two halves. And, you know, at halftime is all about adjustments. And we like to see some adjustments from York High. Don't think that the Cougars have to make too many adjustments. They've been doing a great job so far in the first half. But York High definitely does. And this really starts with tackling and defense. I believe you know, not wrapping up and giving the Cougars an opportunity to keep on going, you know, has really hurt them in the first half.
And an injured Cougar walking off with a training staff.
(26-0) here with 11:43 to go. Just beginning the second half of play between the Cougars and Panthers.
Cougars under pressure. Banks pushed out of bounds.
Bearcats, not Panthers.
Yeah,
sorry, that's three games of football on Saturday and a game last night. It's the Bearcats of York High School.
If I'm not mistaken, George Banks is left-handed, correct? I have to double look at that. Yeah. I believe he's left-handed. When he did that rollout there, he couldn't really get his footing
I
correct.
believe he throws with his right. We'll
right
check
hand?
here.
Yeah, maybe so. I may be wrong.
Of course, Alex Irby, a left-hander, and we saw him.
And I believe
it's been a lot of football these last couple of days. I'm getting things mixed up. It's getting late at night, past my bedtime.
Past your bedtime.
I believe Macau Davis was a left-hander from Imhotep as well earlier today.
Yeah, it was a lot of left-handed quarterbacks, so maybe that's where I'm getting a little bit confused. Didn't get a chance to check, but is Amani Bones back into the game? Number 2. I haven't seen him on this series.
We have not seen
the play.
He's a huge part of the offense for the York High Bearcats.
It's going to back him up.
That's not good. Okay, it's all right. It's all right. You got one question. Might be still updating. That's not you. Like I said, I restarted it. So
10:50 to go in the third.
George Banks Jr. back in shotgun formation for the Bearcats. And complete to David Ward.
David Ward gets the job done.
And a first down catch. Moves the chains for York High. And a new set of downs.
40-yard line.
they had basketball and football combined. Basketball and football combined. I knocked out. I reset the whole thing to put it just to football. All right, here it goes now. It says we have
Ball on the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Bearcats. Handoff, and
wow.
what a defensive effort.
Oh,
but it's
he
a
faked out
quarterback
everybody.
keeper.
It's Banks with a run.
Real nice play. Real nice play design from Russ Stoner, and Banks did a great job executing it.
And George Banks is a real unconventional quarterback size. If you look at just a 5'7" quarterback, how often do you see that? You almost have to go back to Penn State or Trace McSorley, who was short. Maybe not even 5'7", though. He was probably up to about the 6-foot level.
Yes. But it's rare you see that, correct? Particularly at that position.
Yeah, you don't think quarterback when you see Banks. And here's his pass over the middle. It bounces.
Pass was intended to David Ward.
Could have had some immaculate interception action off Elias Koch, who made a late effort at that ball.
All right, any scores, any timeouts? I'm going to try to run flash edge, okay? Get them in for the second half for sure. I done reset it, so
3rd and 7 from the 37.
Full backfield now for the Bearcats.
The handoff and
Back to
up
that
the middle.
Fumble. Oh, it looked like the ball came out.
And that was Samir Gwynn, the freshman running back on that one.
Roxamore Sports Network.
And a timeout call, looks like.
is it? Stop playing. We just agree. Anymore. All right, let's do agree.
Thornton Automotive of Dover, Pennsylvania, with Wes Myers, located on Route 74 in Dover, right across the street from Max Ice Cream at 3885 Carlisle Road in Dover, Pennsylvania. Visit their Facebook page, Thornton Automotive Dover. Proud sponsor of Sports Shooting Stars.
With our good friend Wes Myers.
Basil Insurance Agency, located at 2210 West Market Street, right here in York, Pennsylvania. Family owned since 1999. Our good friend Greg Basil of Basil Insurance has been serving the area and beyond with affordable insurance and has been sponsoring us for the past 4 seasons. And OSS Health, located at 1855 Powder Mill Road in York, Pennsylvania. OSS Health offers high-quality orthopedic care in York, Hanover, Gettysburg, and Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
And here is Banks back at York Surburban High School for the York Rose Bowl on the Roxamore Sports Network and the Sports Shooting Stars. Certainly a lot of fun all day with these games. 9:30 left in the third quarter of play. Lined up at the bottom of your screen is David Ward. Keep an eye on him for this play. But it looks like they might go running back with just 2 wide receivers out to the left and right side.
And this is the best field position for York High so far in the game. So let's see if they can do anything complimentary
And Banks
to get in
with
the end
some
zone.
patience. And it looked like there was maybe a miscommunication there. It looked like Banks maybe was
And a flag
confused in the
down.
backfield and a
Yeah.
flag on the play.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I believe number 4.
Hold against York High.
Kai Beatty may have slipped on the play. I saw him down the field. He kind of slipped up a little bit, and George Banks didn't want to throw the ball in no man's land.
And that penalty is going to back up York. Just approaching the 9-minute mark here in the third.
And at first down and 15 now for the York High Bearcats.
Pass over the middle and tipped up and incomplete. Intended for Gabriel Rivera.
And that was a dangerous throw as that ball was left floating in the air.
Second and 19 from the 29. Need to get it all the way to the 10-yard line to convert here on either second or third down.
And the Bearcats offense spread out here. Pass play.
Pass over the middle and incomplete. You look at who was near that area and you find Amari Davis, the senior receiver, but a little bit too far on that one from Banks. So it brings up 3rd and 19 and a big conversion. We'll see what they can do here.
Yeah, big third down here for York High. As you mentioned, they have to get down to about the 10-yard line for a first down.
Nearly 20 yards to convert. And a flag on the play. Looks like that's going to back him up even further. Potentially a 3rd and 24.
And a 3rd down and 24.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, not many plays in the play call book when it's 3rd and 24. We'll see what York High.
Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to create another turnover. You want to probably be pretty conservative with this play here, to be honest.
This is the same formation that had York confused last time, and a screen pass doesn't get too much with it. It brings up 4th and maybe 23.
Picks up about a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, 4th and 22. Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Okay, yeah, we're fourth down now. It'll be interesting to see York High here, what they have dialed up. It looks like they're keeping their offense out on the field.
4th and 22.
They are going for it here with just over 8 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Banks back.
Yeah,
Under pressure.
Banks.
And brought down.
Taken down at midfield at the 44-yard line is Banks. And there's a turnover on downs with 8 minutes to go.
And Harrisburg's offense will be brought back out on the field here and clearly in the driver's seat with a 26-0 lead, shutting out the Bearcats. And here comes the Harrisburg Cougars offense out on the field, led by their quarterback Sean Lee Jr., back in shotgun formation.
One here in the third. Sean Lee.
A fumble.
And there's a fumble. York has it, and they're going to get it with 7:56. Wait for the confirmation. Yes, they
and
do.
They do get.
Feel like I spoke too soon there, but then they do have it. And a 1st and 10, a fresh start for York, down 26, but they have the ball back with 7:55 in the third.
It looks like Azir Upson with a fumble recovery, and boy, this puts York High's offense back on the field. Their offense will set up at the 40-yard line of Harrisburg. And just when we thought maybe Harrisburg were really going to maybe pull away offensively, outtrots York High Bearcats offense now for an opportunity. And it looks like a different quarterback in there, number 7 for York High.
Yeah, and spinning in for a couple of yards on that one is Samir Gwynn, who we've seen a couple of times today. But yes, new quarterback, Najee Still.
Sophomore.
Yeah, the sophomore quarterback, 6'0", 180, listed on the York Bearcats roster. And I'll say the York Bearcats have the most appealing roster on our paper here, with a nice graphic up top instead of just a spreadsheet. But hey, it gets the job done regardless. And really, it's about the players on your roster rather than the graphics.
But yes, the best roster, certainly, of all the rosters we received over the course of the 2-day event here at the York Rose Bowl.
But thank you to all the head coaches, athletic directors, especially Ron Corsi, putting on the show here for providing information and some good football here at York Surburban High School this weekend.
And I'm sure this will be the first of many here at Dick May Field on the campus of York Surburban High School.
Yeah, the first one is always the toughest. It's only going up from here, as that one is
ball skipped,
incomplete,
flag
for a
thrown.
flag on the play.
Pass intended for David Ward.
So 6:32 left in the third quarter.
Brings up a 3rd down and 5 ball on the 35-yard line of Harrisburg.
Third and 5 from the 35. It looks like York's going to bring in some guys from the sideline.
And maybe with a quarterback change, looking for maybe a spark here offensively for York High. With Najee still in at the quarterback position. Oh, and just gang tackled there by a host of Harrisburg defenders.
Najee Steele is a transfer from Central York, only a sophomore. He's getting his opportunity as a quarterback for the York High Bearcats. And they can't really muster up any offense, really, to be honest with you. You know, Harrisburg doing a great job of sniffing everything out. You know, watching this game so far, and I believe, like, the score was 19-0, and I think it was like a 4th and 5 for York High, and they had a great opportunity. It was at around the 35-yard line, and they didn't make that 4th and 5, and it really killed the momentum. And since then, you kind of seen the game really trying to start to turn, you know, towards a negative for York High. But, you know, like I said, there's still a lot of time left in the third quarter, and you still have a fourth quarter. They can still make some plays, but the defense has to come up with some type of turnovers.
And
right up the middle.
Harrisburg right up the middle, as you said. Far sideline past the 40. And a nice run by Harrisburg's. Looked like Nehemiah Ewell again.
And no flags on that play.
Got to give a lot of credit. Well, there's a flag now.
I spoke too soon.
Yeah. There's some laundry on the field, as they say, right?
Yes. It looks like
well, maybe it's not a flag.
Well, it looks like it was a hold against York High. And yeah, they're moving way down the field. Looks it's a personal
Has to
foul.
be a personal
Yeah,
foul,
that-
which is 15 yards. You know, not in the direction for York High that they want the Cougars to go. Sean Lee in shotgun for the Harrisburg Cougars.
Yeah, Lee
looking.
Airs it out.
He got some
and
contact.
over the middle, up high, incomplete. With 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter of play.
Pass intended to Elias Koch.
And that time, the York High Bearcats got an opportunity to get some pressure on Sean Lee. He took
Yeah,
a hit after that shot.
Back to the running game for Harrisburg. Inside the 20-yard line.
Maya Ewell again gets another carry. 5:45 left in this third quarter.
Trips formation near side for Harrisburg.
Still a packed house here at York Surburban Stadium.
Yeah,
a lot of fans.
Nobody seems to be going anywhere. Here's the run. Ewell gets another handoff.
Well, you know what they say, Todd. If it's not broke, don't fix it. They're going to
going
continue
back
to
to
run the ball as much as possible. They're getting a lot of positive yards from running the ball. And York High's
chewing up the clock.
Yeah, and York High's defense starting to look a little bit tired.
Harrisburg has a commanding lead right now over York High, 26-0, and looking to add to this point total here on this drive.
And as we said earlier, York High lost a lot of players to graduation, and that's the quarterback Sam Stoner, the DB James McBride, fullback Montrez Jackson, cornerback Quentin Price, tight end Amari Newsom.
Jet sweep to the near side. Harrisburg
10-5.
is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cougars. Lewis Dillard, sophomore wide receiver on the jet sweep, and the Cougars extend their lead to 32.
An impressive run. Now a flag thrown.
Yeah, I believe it was that push at the very end. He was already in the end zone, didn't need to get any contact on him, and I think that's going to be against York High. There was kind of a hard push towards the end after the touchdown. And you see another York High player down having a cramp issue.
Yeah, down there is James Abney with a cramp.
Training staff tending to James Abney as he walks off the field on his own accord.
So here is the extra point coming in from Barry Daniels. 2 for 4 on the day. Daniels with pressure, and that one is no good.
No good.
It's 32-0 with 4:32 left in the third quarter of play. And, hey, Leon Rockymore from Roxamore Sports, as well as you guys today, my time calling these games comes to a close here from York, PA. But thank you very much for having me, Roxamore Sports Network, and look forward to the next one.
It was a pleasure having you, Luke. Thank you so much. You're always a wonderful treat to have in the room when you are with us. We thank you so much. You do an awesome job as always. So I will be finishing up for Luke, along with Todd and Drew.
We're all
shooting
here.
stars.
Yeah,
we're going to keep it going. We the dream team. Let's get it. All right, Todd.
Go after it. As you can see, a kickoff now by Harrisburg. York High with the return.
This game is
Monique Scott, number 5 for York High. Game's kind of gotten out of hand a little bit here.
And then you almost had the crowd getting out of hand too. So it's like trying to keep the tension low. Have a peaceful game. Let the athletes shine. Don't steal their shine by, showing your behind outside in the audience, as one would say. All right, Todd, you can.
4:26 to go here in the third quarter. Okay. York High's offense on the field now with a new quarterback. Najee Still, as my broadcast partner said, a transfer.
Yes, Najee Still's a transfer from Central York. Just a little tidbit about Najee. His dad's also a principal at York High. Keith Still also coached a lot with the Central York program as far as the youth level. Najee's getting his start, getting his opportunity. You've seen a lot of sophomores around the county getting opportunities like this to play the quarterback position. You see Brooklyn Nace from Central York getting his opportunity. Najee rolls out.
Rolls to his
he gotta
right.
Get the ball
Under
out.
pressure and brought down.
Has to get the ball out. Has to get the ball out.
Brought down by number 3, Kymir Williams, a junior. I mean, it's second down and long now for York High.
Yeah, had an opportunity. You don't have much time with Cougars, with the Harrisburg Cougars pressuring and getting to the quarterback. You don't have much time, so some of the plays should be very short. Najee's still in there. He should be able to throw the ball within the first 2 or 3 seconds. Expect a run play here.
Yeah, Bearcats offense spread out. And a run call, as you predicted, by number 21.
That's the freshman, Samir Gwynn. Called his name a few times tonight.
Some of the youngsters here for York High getting some playing time, and it looks like a Harrisburg Cougar player down. Possible cramp.
Yeah, it's that time of year where, the moisture in the air and the humidity is really something. It really helps. I mean, it really hurts the players, and they get cramped up.
Injury timeout right now. It's been all Harrisburg, 32-0 over York High. You're watching the 2023 York Rose Bowl on the Roxamore Sports Network in collaboration with Sports Shooting Stars. Third and final game today.
Yeah, it's been the Rose Bowl. We've been here for 2 days straight. Did 2 games yesterday, 3 games today. We started around 2:30. We got here about 1:30. We're probably going to leave here today around 12 o'clock. It's been a very long, fun event. Like I said, this is Ron Coursey's event, the York Rose Bowl. He's the main organizer. He's also the AD.
Is it at 35 or is it at 30?
35, I'm sure. Yeah, the Mercy roll in. It's third down.
Third and 20. Long ways to go for York High Bearcats. Let's see what they got dialed up. Got to get out, Najee. And he rolls.
He rolls.
Doesn't see
He's
anything
keep
open.
Steps out of bounds out around the 20-yard line. And bring up a 4th down now for the York High Bearcats.
Well, there's a positive in that right there. Najee had an opportunity to roll out, trust his legs a little bit, got some positive yardage, didn't get the first down, but didn't get a sack or a turnover. So you got to take the small feats as they come.
And we see George Banks Jr. back in.
Yeah, he's the main punter for the York High Bearcats, has a foot on him. But regardless, the Harrisburg Cougars going to have great field position.
High punt, but short.
Takes a Cougar bounce.
Yes, it does. They'll set up shop inside the 45-yard line. And Harrisburg now, great field position.
Great field position. And they've been doing exactly what they wanted with the ball. When they want to run, they run. When they want to throw, they throw. So, York High has to somehow come up with a turnover, really, make plays on the ball. We say that quite often. Like, you're playing good defense, you're making tackles, but you got to make a play on the ball. Try to pop that thing loose and get a turnover. The defense, they started the game off with an interception, the very first series that the Harrisburg Cougars had, and that was with Amari Davis. And since then, it's been kind of quiet. Like to see them guys, make some more plays while they have opportunity.
As we said earlier, York High will play Hempfield next week.
Hempfield just coming off a big-time win against Dallastown, 16-14. They were actually down 14-0 in that game, and in the second half, they scored enough points, 16 points to win the game. So that was a big-time win for Hempfield, and they'll be back in our county next week against York High. Sean Lee with the ball. Does kind of like a pump fake.
But I don't think he faked too many people out on that play there. But
sort of a Michael Vick-ish type of vibe right there. He's kind of playing with the ball.
Brings up a 2nd down.
Okay.
For the Cougars offense.
That's my cue. I forgot. Y'all Philly fans. I'm from Pittsburgh. Still a fan, so I gotta become a part of the broadcast.
Well, we wasn't gonna say that was a Big Ben move. So
no, definitely wasn't. I wasn't the biggest Ben fan. I really wasn't.
Well, now Kenny Pickett at the helm at Pittsburgh.
If you don't like Big Ben, you're not going to like Kenny Pickett.
Well, here's the thing. The way Kenny played against the Falcons last game, he was like 100% on his throws. He barely had any drop passes. The way he played last game turned some heads and some believers. That's all I can say. And I was one of them. I'm like, okay, this kid got something. He got something.
Sean Lee has something there with a toss.
And you start to see those flags come out more often here in the second half.
Pass
and I believe that may
Quincy
be against the Harrisburg Cougars.
And that's coming back.
So
that's coming back here. Penalty against Harrisburg.
So as you can see, we have the Foot Locker team here. The referees making this game a lot longer than what it truly has to be. 2 minutes left on the clock.
Got to get the man off the field for York High.
Back to the running game.
I have to say, did the Cougars have some explosive speed players? I'm serious. So like the way they hit the hole, some people talk about when you're on your way to college, being able to run that 40 in a 4.5, 4.4 and what have you. And they look like they got maybe 3 or 4 players that could do that. It's like their speed is amazing.
Little screen bubble pass, and that might be a loose ball. And that's picked up by the
Uh
Bearcats.
oh.
And he's running. He's almost there.
Ooh.
And got ran down.
For 2 seconds there, I thought he dropped the ball and he almost fumbled it.
Great job by Gray Carr, number 25.
Impressive pickup of the fumble and ran it almost the whole way back.
Yeah, ran out of gas towards the end, but like we said again, Yurkai's defense has to make plays. You need some turnovers to try to get back into this game. And now they're in the best position they've been in all night long and have an opportunity to put some points on the board.
This is true. You got to ask yourself, he would have made it to the end zone if he'd have just been worried about what was in front of him, not behind him. He kept looking back way too much while he was running. All he had to do was stay focused. He could have leaped, jumped forward, all the above, and probably rolled into the end zone if he wanted to.
You see George Banks back in there for the York High Bearcats, number 15. Looks like Coach Russ Stone is kind of filling out both his quarterbacks, seeing which one he likes and which one he wants to go with, depending on the matchups and, the field position.
I can see that. I can see that.
Unfortunately, Amani Bones, their main running back, has not been in the game at all in the second half, and he was a huge part of the offensive production. George Banks, he's looking, he sees it, and he's in.
Touchdown.
Great job for number 15, George Banks, the first-year starter as a quarterback for the York High Bearcats.
York High breaks the ice.
Breaks the ice, gets some points on the board.
So York finally gets on the board. We don't have a shutout, and we don't have a mercy rule. I guess.
Yeah.
With this, I was still going to say that, I think the big ladies warming up her vocals. You know what I mean? There we go.
Oh, there's a
That's what I've
two-point
been waiting
conversion.
to see all night. Just a little shuffle pass, just real quick, little quick lob.
To Gabriel Rivera for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, majority of York High's offense in the beginning was a lot of jet sweeps and things like that. So like Rock said, I'd like to see him open up the playbook a little bit and, get a lot of different guys involved. And hopefully it can build on this momentum. I know it's still a huge deficit, but it can build on this momentum and let the defense get you some plays. It's still an opportunity for York High to get into this game.
But think about it. When they had that first and goal or that first down in that drive after that great run, they tried to run the ball, but there were so many people open if he'd have just flicked it to them. You know what I mean? And where's your field awareness, as you would say, your field view? You know what I mean? Let's see if it gets more interesting after this. Let's find out.
Got to give a lot of credit to Greg Carr, number 25, who picked up that fumble and scampered all the way down to the 5 or 6 yard line and gave York High an opportunity to get that score. Like I said, your defense sometimes has to be your best offense. So, in this situation, the defense has to show up. And when they do have the ball, the Cougars, you got to try to punch it out, strip the ball, and not just make arm tackles, but make plays on the ball because, the game can get out of hand. And it almost looked like the game can get out of hand, but, they have a small opportunity. Let's see what they do with this kickoff.
Ball's underway.
It's returnable. Far side.
Has blockers.
Plenty of blockers out near midfield.
And basically just took the ball all the way up to the 50-yard line.
Back to what I said before. Look at all that explosiveness right off the ball. These kids are fast on that side of the football. My goodness gracious.
And historically, Harrisburg has always had really good running backs. You think about Kyle Williams. You think about Makai Hopkins. I mean, guys that were shifty. And Kyle Williams, man, I saw him last year, and, I mean, he was just lights out, must-see TV. Yes. And he'll be playing at the University of Temple this year, but he's like that, as I like to say about a lot of these players, man. And looks like Coach Everett has a few more backs that can kind of fill his shoes.
Now, on the west side of the state, in my area, you got Scoop Smith for Woodland Hills, who's an all-around dynamic player in multiple sports. And then, schools where you see that kind of explosive speed, on my side of the state, Clarendon High School, the Bears, them boys. Whoa. You'd have thought they had a specialized running clinic the way them boys run the ball.
No doubt.
Serious.
And you wonder what makes a player so good. You know, is it the conditioning? Is it the IQ? Is it field vision? Is it just raw talent? You know, because sometimes, you know, it takes a lot of that for you to be an elite running back, and we see it quite often. We filmed the Nick Singletons, the Jaheim Whites, and the guys you're talking about, Rock, as well. So, you know, everybody has talent, but what makes you elite? And, you know, I just wonder, you know, what goes into make some of these players who they are.
I think it's pure drive and support. If I had to sum it up, the two things would be drive and support. Some folks are just so driven, so hungry to make a difference because their home, their situation may be so stricken, so limited, so impoverished. You understand what I'm saying? That they want something better. They feel for something. Like most of the people who are greats, they have the most humbling beginnings. Some of these kids have those exact same scenarios in their households, in their homes, and they got that one coach that believes in them, that one teacher that believes in them, that parent that believes in them. Like, you know, it might be a one-parent household. I'm just doing the best I can, but that kid's making an effort to make sure that mom or that dad doesn't have to do it again, ever again, to provide a better lifestyle.
I definitely agree with that. Like I said, getting things, as the kids say, from the mud. You know, just going from the bottom all the way to the top. And some of the players do get it from the mud, and they do a great job of, you know, making the best of their opportunities.
Started from the bottom. Now
back to the running game. Way up the middle. He's gone. 15-10, 5, touchdown.
And we were just talking about that. Isn't that right? We were just talking about that.
Ewell.
Oh, he got a cramp right away. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
49-yard touchdown run.
And you see our guy right there in the shot, Cisco Soto. He's also from Winona,
Winona, Washington.
Winona. I'm
Images.
sorry. Yeah, Washington. Sorry, it's been a long day, guys.
What kind of... He couldn't celebrate. That was a heck of a celebration dance there. He cramped up, and then his player tried to do the CPR thing on him. He's like, nah, I really got a cramp. Get me up.
I see a lot of players out there kind of cramping up, and we've been watching that for the last 2 days. Guys make plays and then lay on the floor because they, you know, their muscles stricken up real tight. So it's the first game of the season. We always gotta let people know that it's the first game of the season.
Not just for the players, but for the broadcasters as well.
Yeah.
And this would be a good film, a good game for Coach Russ Stoner to go back and look at, you know, where he needs to piece in at, where he needs to work at. It looks like a lot of the runs were straight up the gut, you know. And then it's just been a foot race after that, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, got to change up the defense, and also you got to, you know, stack the box a little bit more, I believe.
The kick is up and good. No good. I stand corrected.
Why did that look good for me?
Yeah, it looked from our vantage point, but
that's interesting.
Your score, Harrisburg, 38. York High, 8. A 30-point lead for the Harrisburg Cougars here in the fourth quarter with 11:49 to go.
I want to give a big shout out to Roxamore Sports Network for this collaboration with Sports Shooting Stars. Like I said, hopefully we can reach some fans out there in the Pittsburgh area, and they can reach some fans out here in the York and Adams County area, southern Pennsylvania, and we can continue to network and partner together on different projects. Some more things are happening coming up soon with basketball and another showcase and the things that Ron Corsi likes to do. Has it been a great partnership so far the last 2 days? Got a chance to meet some of Rock's staff, and they've been very professional, so we appreciate them. He's been very professional as well. Got a chance to meet some of his family, so it's been a good atmosphere so far in the last 2 days.
Well,
David Ward with the ball.
David Ward, 15, out to the 20-yard line, still on his feet and brought down.
Well, we do the best we can to make it happen, and you never know. One day I might make you an offer you can't refuse.
There you go.
But no, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you guys as well.
Definitely appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Want to tell the fans that are watching, please support both our programs. Go to our social medias. Go ahead and give us a like. You know, share it. Talk to your friends about it. Roxamore Sports Network, Sports Shooting Stars. Go ahead and go to our social medias. We're located on all social medias as far as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
And yeah, YouTube, Vimeo,
Absolutely.
Apple TV, Roku TV. Amazon TV, Vimeo. Where?
And you see George Banks back out there.
Oh yeah.
Quarterback keeper out near the 25-yard line.
And you got to think about the conditioning as well, because you can practice all day long, but to play 4 quarters and against another opponent, and it being the first game of the season, sometimes you may be a little gassed.
Yeah.
You need your second win, and you may be a little gassed by third quarter or something like that, or even the second quarter. So hopefully these kids get their second win, and this be a good game for York High to build on and see where they got to patch in and fix and figure things out.
My leadership style is, even as a coach, in a situation like
There it
this.
is. There it is.
Run.
Okay.
40.
All right. He's still on his feet. He's still on his feet. Oh, that's a touchdown. Big time play.
10, 5, touchdown.
Wow. That's what I'm talking about. Great play from.
No sooner did we say it happened. Oh, and a flag. Oh, come on.
Siobhan Anderson with about an 83-yard run.
Yeah, and of course a flag thrown on the play. And
wow.
We're going to talk about the play for a little bit until we figure out what the flag's about. But that was about an 83-yard run, and it looked like it's coming back, unfortunately. But, it wasn't just he evaded a couple guys just to get that far. It wasn't an easy run.
I think it was after the touchdown, so I'm not sure.
Looks like the touchdown may stand.
Yeah, this touchdown. So I think it's the celebrating or what have you in the end zone. I have no idea. But
Got you. Yeah.
That still doesn't make any sense to me. Kids been doing that all day.
Well, Siobhan Anderson, only a sophomore, number 18, listed at 5'11", 175, plays wide receiver and DB. But that time he had an opportunity to get the ball, and that's what Coach Stone is doing. He's seeing who wants the ball, who wants to make a play, and kind of like swapping guys in and out. And he gave Siobhan a great opportunity, and he made the best of it.
What is he saying? On offense.
Yeah.
Who?
Touchdown stands.
Touchdown stands. Something offense did. I couldn't hear him.
And I got the band playing, the York High band playing in the background, if you can hear it.
Too. We can hear them.
That's a great momentum thing, especially going into the fourth quarter. There's still a lot of football left.
Yes.
Like I said, you don't have those once in a generation type of players like Jaheim White last year, but York High has came from behind, and a few times and made games very competitive.
2-point conversion.
Got very close, but got stopped short.
All I can say is with both these teams, what I can say is that when they both score, they score in a really big fashion.
In a big way, huh?
It's not a 2-yard drive. It's like 30 yards or more. These mothers can play.
Make it exciting. No doubt about it.
My goodness gracious, these kids got talent.
Harrisburg 38, York High 14, 10:47 to go here in the fourth quarter.
As you can see, the climate is changing even in the social media rooms. Everybody's starting to chime back in now that they didn't hear York scored twice.
Yeah, York fan base is rabid, as they say. They really support their program and the kids and stuff like that, and they like to see them win all the time. And they're sometimes their biggest critics as well. So but it's all out of love, I believe. They want York High to win, and they want to support the student athletes. And anytime they score or do something positive, expect their fans to show up and and support them as well. They do a great job of holding each other accountable and doing a lot for the city.
Well, I will say this to the York High powers that be, administration, athletic directors, and all the above. I do recommend that you do set a meeting with Mr. Dew from Sports Shooting Stars to cover these games, because your team has a lot of support and they love to be able to watch and be a part of these games. And I believe Shooting Stars could definitely be the one that brings you that exclusive great coverage, better than anyone else on this side of the border.
Really appreciate that, Rock. Like I said, we try to do our best and provide great coverage and exposure.
We have York High twice on the schedule this year.
We do.
York High at Red Lion, and of course the season finale, York High at Central York.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about their whole entire season.
Absolutely.
Not just 2 games, the whole entire season. Get an exclusive deal going with Sports Shooting Stars.
That's a return. Still on his feet.
Still on.
Oh,
another flag thrown.
Oh, getting a little violent out there.
Man, he was not
Quincy
going
Brandon.
down.
Hard to bring down.
I'm telling you, the kid ate, Teflon for breakfast this morning. My goodness.
5'11", 170.
Powerhouse. Energizer Bunny, he just kept going. There's a lot of flags. As long as it ain't terrible towels, we good.
You would know a thing or two about terrible towels.
Absolutely. Yes, I would. All right. Let's see what he's saying. The third team on the field is having their huddle. Uh-oh.
We've seen a fair share of the men in stripes area.
I wish he had a microphone so I could hear him. I've never seen that gesture before. What is that? I've never seen a gesture like that before. What does that mean? Two knuckles coming together.
Yeah.
What is that? You go to Sign Language University for that one.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what happens here.
Ball set up
They
down near
obviously
the
brought him-
15-yard line.
Yeah, but they brought him back some for sure. 38-14, Cougars lead the way.
Trips formation for Harrisburg. Back to the running game.
And York finds a way to slow him down. Now, what would be kind of cool if York can get them to make a mistake and they're that close to the end zone.
Yeah, create a turnover here, maybe a scoop and score or
a fumble.
pick six.
Yeah.
Right now, we're looking at a 3-score game. So, like I said, things can happen really fast if you got all phases working and clicking at the same time. The defense can make a play, special teams make a play, and then offense makes a play.
There we go again.
And I think that's 5 yards against Harrisburg for offside.
False start.
False start.
All I'm saying
false
is
start.
they keep getting closer and closer to that end zone. I don't know. Maybe the Cougars are working with their second or third string right now. Maybe they're working with their younger kids, and maybe that's where these mistakes are coming from. Who knows?
Yeah, they seem to be kind of sluggish offensively here.
I'm a firm believer in if your folks is tired, get new bodies in there. Everybody needs to play. Once you get new bodies in it, you pick up a momentum like you can't believe.
But we know Harrisburg can pick up chunk yardage off a play.
Uh-oh.
And that was a fumble.
It was a fumble recovered. Harrisburg.
I am not related to Miss Cleo. I am not psychic. I just happen to speak that into existence.
Brings up a 3rd down and 9. Ball at the 16-yard line of Harrisburg.
That is interesting.
And that time is still ticking. I'm pretty sure Harrisburg doesn't want to give York High any momentum. They want to take as much time off the clock as they can.
Uh-oh.
Up the middle.
Right up the middle. He could
Up
be
the
going
middle.
35, 40. Midfield. 40.
My goodness
20.
gracious, he gone.
10.
He
5.
gone.
Touchdown.
And as much as it pains me to say that, I had a feeling that can happen because they've been having a lot of success going right through the middle. It doesn't matter how far you back them up. If you can't show up the middle, they can still run that thing and go all the way down the field. They had speedsters, as Rock was talking about.
Nehemiah.
I think he's still running down the turnpike right now. He was so gone. I think he's on 76 by now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was gone. He was Bubba Gump Shrimp gone.
And let's go ahead and mention as well, these are the district champions from last year, the Harrisburg Cougars. They're a really good team. They return a lot of good players. York High right now is being tested in a big way against a district caliber team, a district championship caliber team. And like I said, all you can do in this type of game is go back to the drawing board, see where you made some mistakes at, see what you can fix. There's no team like Harrisburg in York County. So, York High can still have a great season, playing throughout the year because there's no team like that in York County. I mean, Central, they may say Central is close,
No,
but
that's way off.
No,
I think that
wide right.
One to the band.
Yeah, maybe into the net there, soccer net.
Absolutely.
The cheerleaders had an extra move to do there. It was called duck, bob, and weave.
And I believe that's the third block punt or third missed punt of the game so far for the Harrisburg Cougars. And while we got a chance, let's go ahead and get into our sponsors one last time. Well, maybe more than one last time, but
more.
one more time, because they definitely help us out big time. And that's Parma's Pizza and Grill of Dallastown. Big shout out to Darren Bonaquista and everything that he does for Dallastown and all the youth throughout the York and Adams County.
Located at 476 East Main Street in Dallastown.
Thornton Automotive Dover, big time supporter with Wes Myers. Wes Myers is back as our sponsor this year. He did basketball last year. Basil Insurance with Greg Basil, one of our longtime sponsors, about 5 years in right now.
Yep, family owned since 1999.
OSS Health, owned and operated by OSS Health Physicians. You know, a lot of people know about OSS. You know, you get injured, you need some rehab done, go to OSS, they'll hook you up. S3 Performance Training, 5-year sponsor of Sports Shooting Stars, big time supporters John Turpek and also Ron Johnson. And Your Medicare Solutions by Keith and Becky Rill. Our 2nd-year sponsors, these sponsors be with us throughout the whole season. So you'll hear us talk about them all the time. And of course, Fairview Early Learning Center and Community Center.
And back to action here, David Ward on the return. Bearcat offense making their way out on the field.
If we have some people in the social media chat on YouTube asking some very interesting questions, you know, wondering if the game is actually still going because of the score difference. It is very much so still going. Mercy rule is not in effect because it is not more than 35 points. They're only 30 points up, so game still goes as usual. Normal speed, normal time.
And the Bearcats with a run by number 18.
Shavane Anderson,
Shavane
yeah.
Anderson, yes,
who had another touchdown earlier in the game.
Brings up a 2nd down for York High. And is there another flag throw? It looks like there's a flag on the field. As the men in stripes try to sort this one out again. Pick up the laundry. You know, it would appear to be against York High. They moved the ball back inside the 25-yard line. A 1st and 20.
Oh, they can't afford that.
No, not at all. Not with 8:30 and counting.
They owe yardage like they owe money to the IRS. My goodness.
George Banks going deep.
Looking deep.
Ooh.
To David Ward, in and out of his hands.
That was a very dangerous attempt.
Yeah, but if he was going to throw the ball to anybody for York High, you want to go to David Ward. He can make those type of plays, but, you know, he had his hands on the ball but couldn't bring it in.
Reel it in, yes.
Now, here's what I do know as a quarterback. That's a position I used to play. You lead your player, good. You throw it that high, and they have coverage on them, you can risk them getting hurt, whether he catches it or not. So it's just like you get one good play and you lose him for the rest. The next 3-4 games, not smart. You know, as you can see how high up he was, he couldn't even come back down on his feet.
Banks
to roll
with the
out.
ball, brought down by Kevin Brown Jr.
Kevin Brown Jr., the freshman, correct?
No, sophomore.
Sophomore.
Playing, of course, the right tackle, but playing on that defensive line.
D1 prospect getting a lot of attention this year. Kevin Brown, number
Father
74.
Played at West Virginia University. And 3rd down and forever right now for York High as the clock continues to tick under 8 minutes.
Want to give a big shout out to the fans that are still tuning in. We know we're getting closer to 12 o'clock midnight, and the showcase is still going on, and they're still locked in and watching. Like I said, the fan base for York High is very deep. They love their guys.
And a pass catch there.
Still on his feet.
Still on his feet.
Well,
that's Gabriel Riviera with that catch, the senior.
We got a question here on the YouTube chat that I want to respond to. To Mr. Lou Sims, where's Roxamore based out of? We're based out of everywhere, but our home headquarters in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We over there by the Three Rivers, over there by the hometown Steelers, Steel Town, Steel City. You can Google us.
Going deep again. Just kind of threw it up there.
Intercepted. Ooh.
And George Bank doesn't have much time. Both the defensive ends were running after him, going straight after him. He had to kind of get the ball up in a little bit of time, but, it wasn't enough oomph on that ball to get it down the field like you like to.
Kymir Williams with an interception.
So the question is, was it forced in your opinion?
I believe he was pressured into giving up that ball. He had guys coming on both ends. We can even, when the fans, when they watch that play again, they can see. I think George got smashed on that play right there.
And
he had
trying
to get the
make
ball
something
up.
happen.
Yeah,
down by 30.
absolutely. Tough scenario for the York High Bearcats, but sometimes you can always look at that as a punt. I don't know. You got the ball around the 38-yard line. Like I said, you put your defense back out there, and the defense has been doing a really good job so far in the second half. Not letting the score go up too high.
Well, I will say this, gentlemen. Harrisburg has been nothing but short of impressive all day today. I'm so serious.
Yeah, Harrisburg is a really good team.
Yes, and I have a feeling they'll be in the hunt again.
Oh, absolutely.
Districts and any possible state.
You know what would have been nice? To see Harrisburg versus Emotep today.
That'd have been a really good game.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Who do you have walking away with that one?
Oh, that's so tough. I have to watch more footage of both teams. I don't want to make an uneducated guess, but that would have been a good. That would have been a goodie. Absolutely.
May have to give the edge to Emotep. They after seeing them today.
Wow.
Off and running. 50, 40, 30.
Look at the Jets
20,
on him.
10, touchdown.
Oh, my goodness.
Woo. That's Zymir Hill with his third touchdown run. And imagine a flag on the play.
Oh, who was the receiver's name that played for the Raiders that was so fast? Everybody took note. Last name was Jet.
Jet, he ran track as well, if I remember.
Yeah.
James Jet?
I think that might have been him. He was unbelievably, like when I seen him run like that, he reminded me of that James Jet for the Raiders. And he just happened to be wearing the same colors too.
Correct.
So I had a little flashback. Wow, he was super fast. My goodness gracious. We should you know what? On the Roxamore Sports Network, we give players nicknames.
And
what's
what
his
would
nickname?
Zymir Hills be?
We would call him the Road Runner.
Yeah.
Beep beep. Pew.
Gone.
Seriously. Wow.
Yeah, Roadrunner, Speedy Gonzalez, they all
Yes.
really good names for Zymir Hill. He's definitely put on the show, on this showcase. And there's a lot of fans, there's a lot of people watching this type of game as well. So, he's definitely making a case to keep an eye on him throughout the year. I got to give a lot of credit to Coach Cal Everett as well for Harrisburg. He always gets the best out of his players. He always has them ready to play. He has a really good game plan. No matter who they go against. I think we said earlier, Cougars
Wide left.
It's a little
scrum
scrimmage.
on the field there.
Oh, they're saying it now on YouTube. Facebook just seen it. YouTube's just seen it. There's no point for unsportsmanlike conduct. The score is what it is. They put in the work.
Yes.
If you put in the work, the results is there. So, just play your game. If you don't get this one, you go back to the drawing board, figure out what you need to do to get better, try to get the next one.
And as we said earlier, Harrisburg comes in being the district champs, the reigning district champs. They was 11-3 last year, 6-1 in the Commonwealth, a.k.a. the Mid-Penn. They won District 3 last year, back-to-back titles, actually. The only loss was, not the only loss, but they lost to State College in their division, and they had 2 non-conference losses, one to Manhattan Township, and their last loss was to the state champs, St. Joe's.
And we know St. Joseph Prep, what they're made of.
So there's a flag, apparently.
So don't sleep on this Harrisburg team. I mean, they're a really good team. They should be right in the thick of things. I mean, between State College, Mahon Township, that's probably the top three teams in the districts that I can think of off the top of my head.
That's just the once again at this point, I would say finishing the game clean, being able to execute certain plays to see if they can work throughout your season should be the key and focus for both sides of the ball at this point. This game was obviously leaning in the Cougars' favor, but getting unnecessary flags at this point, what is it going to prove?
Right, you got to stay disciplined because, like I said, you got to go back to the drawing board. You don't want to go back to the drawing board and look at all the fourth quarter mistakes and all the flags and just being, playing roughhouse and things like that. You want to just go ahead and, hey, we lost that game, but we lost it for these type of reasons, not because we lost our cool.
Well, speaking of penalties, you notice where Harrisburg's kicking the ball off.
Yeah, should give York High some great field position. Let's see what they can do with it.
Uh-oh.
David Ward
It's
with
David
the ball.
Ward, 45.
Ooh.
Down inside the 40-yard line. Excellent field position.
Excellent. And there's another little ticky-tack thing going on.
Okay. All right.
Things getting a
they
little
need to
chippy
behave.
there.
And as we just said prior to that, we hate to see things like this.
We're going to go ahead and thank some of our sponsors at this moment. So while they sort that out, as they are, go ahead and thank our sponsors.
Starting off with Fairview Early Learning and Community Center, located at 465 South Pine Street and 100 Lafayette Street in York, Pennsylvania. One of our sponsors with Sports Shooting Stars.
They're going to want to see the footage. Who started it? Someone go ahead and suspend it.
Parma Pizza of Dallastown, owned and operated by Darren Bonaquisti, located at 476 East Main Street. Pizza so great, you'll scrape your plate. Thornton Automotive of Dover with Wes Myers, located on Route 74 in Dover, right across the street from Max Ice Cream at 3885 Carlisle Road, Dover.
And looks like they may be calling the game, and I don't have no problem with that at all. I mean, it's getting very chippy towards the last quarter, but, I don't like to see these things either because it's just a football game. It's not about, it's just football. It's just a sport, So like I said, it shouldn't get to the point where, you can't finish a game. But from both accounts, it's like they're talking to their teammates. The coaches are talking, and they'd rather concede this game. You see the scoreboard, it's off now. And that may just be it. And I hear the band playing as well. Still was a great Rose Bowl event. We're not going to focus too much on the last 2 or 3 minutes of this game, but still was a really good event ran by Ron Corsi, the AD here at York Surburban. The York Rose Bowl, the first time an event like this happened in York County. Featured over, 10 teams, I believe, today. In the last 2 days.
Between the 2 days, correct.
It's been really good. Yep, and you hear the band playing like, back in the Titanic or something. The band's playing.
OSSL, located at 1855 Powder Mill Road here in York, Pennsylvania, offers high-quality orthopedic care in York, Hanover, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and S3 Performance Training, located at 2810 East Prospect Road in York, Pennsylvania. Visit John Turpak and Ron Johnson. Your Medicare Solutions with Keith and Becky Rill, another proud sponsor of Sports Shooting Stars. Contact information 717-487-4382. Again, Your Medical Solutions with Keith and Becky Rill. Yeah, still kind of unknown in terms of what's taking place. The scoreboard looks like it's back on. Your score, Harrisburg 50, York High 14. 6:18 remaining in the fourth quarter.
You had security and everybody all on the field, letting them know, that's not what we're doing.
Well, great. I love to see this game finish the right way. A little less than 6 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. York High has the ball in really good field position.
Yeah, and I would think if there's a running clock with a 36-point lead.
Should be a running clock. Don't know why the clock is stopped at this point. And really don't know what happened where, they separate both teams and talk to them and things like that. We also say that, football is a controlled, violent game, but don't know why they stopped it at that point because they didn't think things got too out of hand.
And at one point it looked like they were going to call the game, but now we're back on here.
One thing I do know, when you're dealing with the Ron Corsi event, he is always prepared for this. He always has a plan. He has plans to neutralize these kind of situations like schools have fire evacuation plans. Like he's always on top of it, literally.
Shavane Anderson, number 18, he's making the best of his opportunities tonight. I mean, he has a big time touchdown, and Amani Bones has been out. We haven't spoken his name since the middle of the second quarter. Hopefully everything's okay with him because he is a featured back for York High. And only a sophomore, but like I said, he is the featured back. So we haven't seen him. Hope everything's okay. But Shavane Anderson has done a great job of providing yardage and production on the offensive side.
Yeah, he's really stepped up. Has a touchdown in tonight's game.
Now,
Ooh, not going anywhere.
And that got blown up.
To the press box's credit, I am now thinking and recalling the events and asking myself, why is there still 5 minutes left in this game? They're up more than 35 points.
Yeah, a running clock.
The running clock should have been going, so this game should have been practically over.
We're under 5 minutes now to go here in regulation.
And maybe that episode wouldn't have had an opportunity to happen. I'm not sure if they're remembering to keep that going. Bless you.
Well, I just hope this game probably is going to be done before midnight. It's been a long day.
We're pushing the clock, yes, no doubt about it.
But it's been a long, productive day, so we had a lot of fun today as well.
Maybe.
Featured a lot of teams. Like I said, freaking 87-0. Imhotep.
Let me make sure.
Imhotep, and then Steel High with a close, it was a close game.
Yep. Votech got their first win of the season.
As did, East Pennsboro as well.
Shavane Anderson still on his feet. I talked to Shavane Anderson's dad from time to time. He has a lot of high hopes for his son, and like I said, didn't have an opportunity to watch him play at all last year, but this year he's getting his opportunities, and I think that Russ Stoner sees something special in him, and he feels okay with giving him the ball. Got a chance to see Najee still get some time in the game as a quarterback.
Thank the fans for tuning in to Roxamore Sports Network tonight in collaboration with Sports Shooting Stars.
Hey, just keep running the ball.
They give to Amari Davis, number 11. Called his name a few times earlier in the game, but not recently.
Yeah, Amari Davis had that big-time interception in the first quarter. It really turned the things around for York High, gave him a lot of momentum. They didn't get a chance to benefit off of that, but it still was a good play for him. He can always say, hey, I got an interception in that game. Like to see the ball back in Shavane Anderson's hands. He's
still on his feet, Shavane
yeah,
Anderson.
He's doing a great job.
Down near the 5-yard line.
And a guy like that, he already got a touchdown. He's making positive yardage. You want to keep on feeding him. You want him to hit the pay dirt so he can have 2 touchdowns in a game. You don't have to go away from what's working. And Shavane Anderson probably is your best bet right now on the offensive side as far as getting the ball. I'm going to give a lot of credit as well to York High's offensive line providing those holes so Shavane can get something going.
So, I used to hear kids laugh all the time when you see coaches pull out foot drills with the ladders, the floor ladders and what have you. That right there, that stutter step that he just did, that's a prime example of those kind of drills being extremely effective. They used to crack me up. I would see kids in practice, they would laugh like, "Why do I got to do this?" That's why you got to do it.
Right. You got to be shifty out there if you're going to get the ball. You got to be very shifty.
Under 2 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter.
Shout out to the vendors as well. The vendors, Brickers, I think
Brickers Fries.
Brickers Fries was here. Milkshake Company was here as well.
From the farm show.
From the
the milk show.
From the farm show.
And the concession stand ran by York Suburban.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh, he got it. He got it back. He got it back. On the 1-yard line.
And that's a great pickup for Amari Davis. But, even that play, was that a read option? At the 2-yard line, you think you just get the ball back to, one of your running backs and go straight up. You don't want to get fancy here. You want to score.
There goes that flicker again that I was talking about. Nice little shuffle pass, real quick into the end zone. That's it.
Yeah, that definitely works, especially where they're at on the field.
Now it's a real thing. The Chiefs quarterback do it all the time.
Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes does it all the time. He's known for his little behind the back and little flicker passes.
And that's the guy you want to get the ball to.
There you go.
And he's in for a touchdown, I believe.
In for a touchdown.
Yeah.
I believe that's good.
Yeah, you just want to get the ball to Shavane Anderson. You want to reward him for
his second touchdown.
Absolutely. Yeah, great job for Shavane Anderson. Never gave up. And I think Coach Russ Stoner sees a lot in Shavane Anderson. I mean, even in the loss, you can still find some positive. There's some pluses, some guys that really stepped up. And he's one of the guys I believe stepped up for him in Game 1 against the district champs, Harrisburg Cougars.
I love the commitment right now of York.
Yeah, you're still seeing them battle.
The commitment from York right now is outstanding. Just because, we seen a game earlier today where Emotep and Life Christian, and Life Christian just looked like after so long, like they had the life just taken out of them. You see York High here; they're staying committed to the very moment, the very end, the very yard, the very final yard, very final step. They're committed to seeing it all the way through. They're still playing the game like it's 0-0. That's good to see. That's good leadership too.
Absolutely. So, and as a coach in the fourth quarter, you're looking at who quits, who's going to stay out there the whole time. So it's very important for guys to keep on playing and keep giving effort, because that's what you're really going to look at. Not when everything is going good, but when we're down, what's your body language like? Are you still giving maximum effort? And I think coach can see something from this game here.
The kick is up,
and it's good. It's good, right?
No good.
No good. All right, what am I seeing? I'm confused.
Hey, I want to give a lot of credit to York High. They're kicking the ball. It's been a long time since we saw York High kick balls for extra points. So I think that's a positive. They have a kicker this year. Even with the misses, at least you're giving yourself an attempt and giving some chances. Like I said, with more kicks and, throughout the season, we're going to continue to nail those. But I'd love to see York High, have a kicker, because, that's something they were lacking the last couple years.
And once again, it's amazing to see it all unfold the way it has.
A 30-point lead now for Harrisburg with 34 seconds remaining.
Well, this one's almost over and almost in the books for week 0. Great event here put together by Mr. Ron Corsi, the athletic director for York High. We want to thank him for being a visionary, for bringing us to this district and this caliber of talent to this field for the community and the greater community to enjoy. Once again, look forward to doing many more of these with Mr. Coursey as he continues. Once again, if you are a coach, D1 coach, or what have you, you want to be here for this because he does it annually every year. If you're a high school coach, you want to call and find out how you can be a part. Bring your kids, let them get some great, unique workout for week 0 to help set the standard for the rest of the season.
And what you think? This should be a squib kick, onside kick? What are we looking at?
It's a little pooch kick.
Little pooch kick. There it is.
Kick to the up man.
Don't want them to get loose on this here.
Yeah, not at all.
And that should probably, one play, pretty much kneel it, and that should probably be the end of the game. And maybe we might get out of here before 12 o'clock. Well, it's after 12. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 12:04. Yeah, to be exact.
We should get paid double.
Double time.
Double time. Thanks for all the fans that still tuned in here and still supporting York High and Harrisburg. You know, there's still a lot of fans here at the field. It's 12 o'clock on a Saturday, and they're still here supporting their guys.
It's now 12 o'clock on a Sunday.
Sunday.
Yes.
Right.
And as the CEO of Roxamore Sports, I apologize now if you do not make it to church tomorrow. It was not my fault. You could have turned off the phone, the TV, and all the above. You had the option.
Well, maybe next year, like I said, we will tweak it a little bit. We'll start these games by maybe like 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock or something like that.
Morning.
Yeah, I remember even with the youth, man. I have my son in here in the booth with us now, but I remember with the youth, man, they used to play games at 8 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it was be crazy, like, you know, as far as
There it is.
And that's it.
That's the game.
And your final score, Harrisburg 50, York High 20. Wrapping up the York Rose Bowl here. 3 big games today. 5 in total between Friday and Saturday night. And we want to thank Roxamore Sports Network in conjunction with Sports Shooting Stars.
Absolutely. You want to follow.
Great weekend.
Yep. Absolutely. You want to follow Roxamore Sports Network. They have more events coming up. They have events coming up simultaneously, so you'll see more than one event, them doing at the same time. And also with Sports Shooting Stars, we have a schedule coming out next week. Well, our schedule's already out. Check us out on Facebook and social media. But next week, it's going to be Downtown versus Manheim Township. And after that, it's going to be Central York versus Henfield. After that, it's going to be West York versus York Surburban. Then York High versus Redline. Downtown versus Spring Grove. And then the final game of our regular season is going to be York High versus Central York, which is always a big matchup, and we like to provide that for our fans. And we're going to do a couple district games this year as we normally do. So
And maybe a volleyball game or two as
yes,
well.
yes.
Volleyball.
We'll add some things in there in between time because it's fall season, so we're going to add a couple things in there.
Well, folks, I do appreciate working with you guys today.
Yes.
I'm Mr. Rockymore, the owner of Roxamore Sports. We are posting our schedule, believe it or not, tomorrow, and we have on average 6 or 7 broadcasts every week during the month of September. Something different every single day. And we're servicing 12 schools now and multiple districts. So we're looking forward to a promising season, a promising year. I want to thank everyone for joining us once again. This is the Roxamore Sports Network broadcast. All rights are reserved to the Roxamore Sports Network. If you are to use this footage in any kind of way, you must get written consent and permission from Roxamore Sports Network headquarters or office. All rights are reserved to the owner, Leon Rockymore. That is myself. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you. God bless. Have a good night once again. Follow the Roxamore Sports Network and as well as the Sports Shooting Stars. We will see you guys next year, for the York Rose Bowl Part 2, more than likely. Have a good night.